Square Garden, March 23rd through April 30th. Buy tickets at the box office and Ticketmaster. It's the Knicks versus the Denver Nuggets, Thursday at 8:30 after game night on MSG2.
Yeah, the little guys are fun, but when the big guys get together, that's really something. Yes, tonight it's another Alonzo Mourning, Patrick Ewing duel as they're on the floor live and warming up. Now, a short while ago, Marv Albert had something really special happen to him in his career. Let's go with him now as he travels to San Francisco, California to visit the good folks at Sega.
Ever since I was in the 3rd grade, all I wanted to do was to be the voice of a video game.
It's true. Marv's been talking about this for years. Even before there were video games, he demanded it would be his destiny anyway. And like every assignment Marv has, once he finds the right door, there's a production meeting.
Don't worry about, doing anything loud. We can always bump up the volume within the game, so don't strain yourself or anything like that.
My favorite call for the last one was, "That's a 5-second violation." I myself, I'm still trying to figure out after you plug it in how the various games work. But once somebody does it for me, I get a kick out of it.
How Marv survived the grueling session is anyone's guess. A lesser announcer would have wilted, because what is needed is a line for almost every possibility in NBA Action 95, and the games become so complicated.
He's hit. That's a hard foul. On the drive, yes, and it counts. The foul called, and the basket counts. Beautiful bank shot. He fires, yes. Final seconds, he's going to shoot from downtown. Yes, he hit.
If Marv seems like a video game pro, it's not because he spends a lot of quarters in airports. There was all-star hockey.
20 seconds remaining. Excitement. That's Leach in across the blue line, setting up in the slot. Shot is stopped. Here come the Canucks. Trevor Linden taking a hard hit, and time has run out. What a shame. That was very good. Thank you very much.
Privately, Marv will tell you the entire experience is right up there, with Willis limping to the court. Oh, those memories.
I can recall passing kids who are, playing the game and hearing my voice say such things as, "That's a 5-second violation," and that's a great thrill.
NBA Action 95 coming soon to a store near you. We're getting ready for the Knicks and the Charlotte Hornets, but when we come back, Bob Page is at the sports desk. Many things Dennis Rodman does are a bad idea. Riding a motorcycle is one of them.
It's happening.
Good evening, everybody. Bob Page back in our Sports Desk studios with you once again. Another day, another revelation about the late Reggie Lewis. The Boston Globe reported today that Lewis used cocaine with the late Len Bias while they were both counselors in Red Auerbach's summer basketball camp in 1985. The story comes from Derek Lewis, no relation, one of Reggie's closest friends, who also was the source for quotes about Lewis's alleged use of cocaine in yesterday's Wall Street Journal. Tomorrow night, in what now looms as a very uncomfortable ceremony, the Celtics will retire Reggie Lewis's uniform number. On the court tonight, Nets are in Detroit, hoping not to be embarrassed by a Pistons team in absolute tatters. Detroit has lost 6 straight. Meanwhile, ex-Piston star Dennis Rodman continues to find trouble. Isn't it common sense that if you make millions of dollars a year and your job is contingent upon staying in good physical condition, you wouldn't go skiing, snowmobiling, or ride motorcycles? Not to Rodman, who suffered a separated shoulder in a motorcycle accident on Sunday. He'll be lost to the Spurs for a minimum of 2 to 4 weeks.
I apologize. This happened, but one of those accidents. Could have happened in the car. Who knows? He's a great player, and he's a very important piece to the puzzle. But we're pretty good. Period. So they understand that.
They beat Seattle without Rodman last night at home, but this isn't the same as being in a car. Cars are a necessity of life, not motorcycles. Cars have seat belts, not motorcycles. New Yorker Jamal Mashburn with a fine performance last night in what was a terrific game at Cleveland. Dick Motta and the Mavericks had to go to double overtime against the Cavs. In the second OT, Cleveland by 1. Mark Price hits a jumper over Jason Kidd. He finished with 18 points. But back comes Mashburn. The product of Cardinal Hayes High School in Harlem drills a three-pointer to tie the game at 100. Then, seconds remaining, Mashburn drives and puts a shot high off the glass to give Dallas its winning margin. Mashburn shot just 10 for 26, but at a team-high 28 points, 10 rebounds. Cavs still had one last chance, but Tyrone Hill misses an easy shot to tie the game. He led all scorers with 29 points and 10 rebounds, yet blew it with the game on the line, allowing Motta and company to escape with a thrilling win. Great matchup in the league tonight, one that might play a role in home court advantage for the NBA Finals. It is Phoenix at Orlando. The Suns have the best record in the league at 49-17. The Magic just one half game back. And if you ever wondered just what these kids like Shaquille O'Neal, Derek Coleman, Glenn Robinson, and so many others manage to do with the obscene sums of money they make, I guess they spend it. How do you spend millions and millions of dollars? Shaq revealed recently that his size 22 shoes are handmade Italian custom jobs. They cost as much as $3,000 a pair. $3,000 for a pair of shoes? Forget about the proverbial starving children in India. Hungry children in our own country could use some of that kind of money. Now stay tuned as the Knicks play host to the Charlotte Hornets next, right here on Madison Square Garden Network.
New York Knicks Game Night has been brought to you by Payne Weber. We believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships. And by Eagle. Test drive an Eagle at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer or call 1-800-2-TEST-EAGLE.
Option package savings up to $1,000.
The Wish store to end. And you could be shouting, "We're going to Disney World!"
Patrick Ewing is trying to spread the word that despite a little controversy, the Knicks have a 3-game winning streak. Saturday night, the Knicks gutted out a tough overtime win over their Cross River rivals from New Jersey after blowing a 15-point third-quarter lead. Tonight, the Knicks get together with one of their Eastern Conference opponents, the Charlotte Hornets. The Hornets hold a 2-0 season advantage over the Knicks, thanks to the win at the Garden in November behind the ferocity of Alonzo Mourning. The Knicks then went down to Charlotte in January and were stung by a career-high performance by a rejuvenated Larry Johnson. Pat Riley did not get to watch the conclusion of that game as he was invited to make an early visit to the Knicks locker room. Tonight, the Knicks match up at Madison Square Garden, and they want to make sure Larry Johnson doesn't leave with a smile. Welcome to Madison Square Garden. It is the 114th consecutive sellout. The Knicks and the Charlotte Hornets meeting for the third time this season. The Hornets have won the previous 2 and have beaten the Knicks 5 out of the last 6. The Knicks at 42-21. They're 5 games behind Orlando. Charlotte at 40 up and 25 down. The Hornets are half game behind Indiana, and they are 3 games behind the Knicks. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albin, along with John Andres. And John, when the Knicks and the Hornets get together, it makes for one of the better center matchups in the NBA as those 2 good friends, Patrick Ewing and Alonzo Mourning, get together. And they have actually played each other to a standoff.
Mourning has been Patrick Ewing's protege in his briefer time in the NBA, but he's been doing too good a job, I'm sure, from the standpoint of the Knicks. Ewing, though, always seems to get his points against Mourning with moves like that. Mourning has grown more significantly now as time has gone on with beautiful hook shot moves like that. They have played each other, as you say, Marv, to a standstill this year in their 2 meetings. Mourning with a very slight edge in the points per game. Ewing in the field goal percentage, rebounding's even. Mourning a slight edge in terms of shot blocks. But the Knicks need Patrick Ewing now to think in terms of dominance in order to break this 5 wins out of 6 game matchup successes that Charlotte has had over the Knicks. It's not good enough if they just play each other to a standstill.
And in the previous 2 games between the Knicks and the Hornets, Larry Johnson has done most of the damage, particularly in the game in Charlotte back in late January when he had a career night.
He had an amazing night. Larry Johnson's been working very hard to prove to the basketball world and the public that he's healthy. And he certainly has done that to the Knicks by beating the Knicks down court on one of those plays in Charlotte. Drew a foul, made the hoop. But the three-point shooting was amazing for Larry Johnson that night. He put on a show. Even Anthony Mason, always tough on his opponents, couldn't deal with the quick release of this three-point shot when Mourning came in to add 3 points to his already 36-point game. It was a 39-point career high, as you mentioned, Marv. 15 out of 22, 6 out of 8 from three-point range. The Knicks are going to miss Mason tonight. They've got to play physical with Larry Johnson.
All right, so coming up, it's the New York Knicks and the Charlotte Hornets. Zoe is in town, it should be pointed out, coming off a huge game Sunday afternoon against Utah. We'll be right back.
Want to make a Consumer's Digest Best Buy an even better buy? Well, right now, we're offering $1,000. So hurry to the Dodge National Best Buy sale. Right now, current Chrysler Corporation minivan owners get an additional $500 cash back.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you by Beechwood Aged Budweiser. It's always been true. This Bud's for you. By The Card, the American Express card. Don't leave home without it. By Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers. By Delta Airlines, the official airline of Madison Square Garden. And by Citibank, for banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
We're set for the introduction of the starting lineups. Let's join with the public address.
First for the Hornets. At guard, at 5'3" from Wake Forest, #1, Muggsy Bogues. At guard, at 6'3" from Bradley, #3, Hersey Hawkins. At forward, at 6'7" from UNLV, #2, Larry Johnson. At forward, at 6'7" from UConn, #24, Scott Burrell. And at center, at 6'10" from Georgetown, #33, Alonzo Mourning. The trainer is Terry Koffler, assisted by Dave Jovanovich. Assistant coaches Bill Hanslick, T.R. Dunn, and John Bach. And the head coach, Alan Bristow. Kenny Gaddison will not play tonight due to injury. Eastern Conference champions, your New York Knicks. At guard, at 6'5" from Oklahoma State, #3, John Starks. At guard, at 6'4" from Illinois, #11, Derek Harper. At forward, at 6'8" from St. Louis, #4, Anthony Bonner. At forward, at 6'9" from Virginia Union, #34, co-captain Charles Oakley. And at center, at 7 feet from Georgetown, #33, co-captain Patrick Ewing. The head trainer is Mike Saunders. The assistant trainer, Tim Walsh. Assistant coaches, Jeff Van Gundy and Jeff Dix. And the head coach for the Knicks, Pat Riley.
Well, this one of those games on the schedule that has added significance with playoff positioning at stake. And Knicks coach Pat Riley feels that there is a sense of urgency about tonight's game.
They're 4 games behind us in the loss column. This is a big game from that standpoint. And, so from that standpoint, you got to come with, with that attitude in mind. And then just the fact that they played us very well and beat us twice. They are a rivalry, a very heated rival, and there's a lot of passion in the series, so I think our guys will come with that attitude.
Different kind of game tonight, Marv, for the Knicks. The game against Washington Friday and New Jersey on Saturday was more of an emotional situation, getting over the suspension of Anthony Mason and the team mood. Tonight, it's a basketball situation more so. They've got to play solid basketball. The Charlotte Hornets have established themselves once and for all as a legitimate top-class opponent, having won 5 of their last 6 against New York.
Charlotte with the victory at home over Utah, 108-104. That snapped a 3-game losing streak. They had their problems in recent games. On the road, they have won 16. They have lost 16. The Knicks controlling the opening tip. The officials, Bernie Fryer, Bill Oakes, and Jim Kinsey. Anthony Bonner, played by Larry Johnson. Patrick Ewing trying to go to work against Alonzo Mourning. And here's Starks for 3. So John Starks, who hit 6 from downtown on Saturday against New Jersey, has opened up by hitting the 3-pointer. Percy Hawkins lost it. Hawkins claiming it was deflected out of bounds by the Knicks.
You know, this is one of those games, Marv, where it demands 48 minutes by the Knicks of concentration and close to 48 minutes of excellence. It's been a while since they've played that kind of game, but as April draws near, they've got to start playing games like this.
Ewing. So the Knicks opening up with the 5-0 lead. Muggsy Bogues, being played by Derek Hopper. Defensively, it's Oakley matched with Johnson. Bogues, and Bonner tosses it down. Hopper for Oakley, and Charles blows the layup.
It shouldn't happen that way. Charles ought to be right up at that rim.
Johnson for 3. Larry Johnson, who had that career-high 39 points in Charlotte late January, including a club record-tying 6 of 8 from downtown, has been going more and more to the 3-point shot. Off the turnover. Back come the Hornets.
Ewing backing up, and Harper threw it to him, and he'd already backed up.
Burrell passing on the 3, and his pass picked off. Here's Bonner. Knicks swinging the ball effectively. Bonner from Oakley. Mourning with the rebound. Larry Johnson looking for 3. Larry Johnson gives the Hornets a 6-5 advantage.
That is so tough. Faking, and still making the shot with the distraction of Oakley in front of you.
Johnson has hit 2 of 2 from downtown. Larry Johnson has been able to change his game. Not the same player in terms of the explosion off the drive, but he has developed a very fine outside game. Oh, what a fake by Mourning. It counts. The basket counts, and the foul.
You mentioned Larry Johnson, Marv. As you say, he's starting the game on the perimeter. He hasn't gone to the low post yet. How about this move by Alonzo Mourning? Checking out people around him. Goes baseline and makes Patrick Ewing look plus 30 on that move.
Ewing with the foul. Mourning, a 76% free throw shooter. Charlotte, one of the better foul shooting teams in the league. They shoot 78% at the line. Ewing getting in close. Hornets 9, and the Knicks 7.
Oh, what a fine pickup by Charles Oakley, playing the role of Derek Harper on that advance of the basketball and getting it to Patrick.
Muggsy Bogues, Hornets 11. And the Knicks 7. Coming into tonight, the Knicks 5 games behind Orlando, and the Magic home for Phoenix. Ewing, yes, and it counts. Patrick Ewing will head to the line. It was fouled by Alonzo Mourning.
Patrick had that expression before the move, actually. He was upset about something that happened moments ago. But spinning around with his extra couple of inches height on Mourning enables him to get that jump shot up without much trouble.
Ewing against the Nets on Saturday, 17 points, 14 rebounds, 7 of 16 from the field, as opposed to the Friday night display when he took 36 shots against the Bullets in that game in Landover. That was one short of a career high. A lot of shots. He hit 16 of the 36. Hersey Hawkins line drives at home. Both clubs shooting well here at the Star.
Very impressive when the team that comes here twice a year can shoot the ball like that to open things up.
Charlotte has hit on 5 out of 6 from the field. It will be Charlotte ball.
Charles Oakley just kind of throwing that ball up, hoping that it all works out well, and instead of really making a strong move to the hoop.
Hornets by 3 with 4 minutes gone by in this first quarter. Mourning and Ewing in a battle for position. Shot clock at 6. Mourning, after squaring up, goes to the drive and is tied up by Bonner. Anthony Bonner helping out.
Mourning's on his way to a technical with that reaction. Bonner made some play. But you know, Marv, what has to anger the teammates of Mourning, he's got his head down now, not looking for anybody else. It became the playground all of a sudden in this stationary offense.
.610, Alonzo Mourning with several inches on Anthony Bonner. However, the Knicks control. And a foul is called. Shot waved off. Foul on Bogues. It is a non-shooting foul. 5'3", 140 pounds. Muggsy Bogues, who was the most valuable player on the Charlotte Hornets last season. Nice fake. He drew the foul, and it will not count. A traveling violation called on Ewing.
Patrick amused by that call. Of course, a player in the middle of a move doesn't realize sometimes that he's dragging the foot or taking the extra step. It's up to Derek Harper now to try and establish an advantage over Muggsy with his height. Question is, will the Knicks let him post up once in a while to make Muggsy pay for the lack of size?
Hawkins had lost the dribble off the foot, but he took a hit from Starks. And for John Starks, his first foul. Tonight's game will conclude a span in which the Knicks played 4 of 5 at home. And now they head to the road, heading west, beginning Thursday in Denver. That'll be a 9 o'clock start New York time, and will be seen on MSG2 on Thursday night. Last week here at the Garden, Knicks beat Denver by 20 points, but not a game that will be remembered for the... Well, Hawkins took a poke in the eye, and he calls for a 20-second timeout. That game last week between the Knicks and Denver will be remembered because of the incident that occurred between Anthony Mason and Pat Riley. Following Denver, the Knicks play at the Los Angeles Clippers and then at Seattle before coming home next Tuesday to meet up with old number 45 and his Chicago Bulls, as we take another look as Hersey Hawkins took the shot in the eye.
Charles Oakley coming around to help. And Hawkins took a shot in the eye. Marv, I have to ask you, I'm sure many people here in New York area would be interested in your reaction to the thrill of being part of that show the other day with Jordan's comeback.
It was, the word is thrilling. It was you know, none of us knew what to expect, what kind of performance we would see. And obviously, Michael would have liked to have shot better. He was very nervous for the game, had the butterflies, and as you know, missed his first 6 shots, but did other things as we watched Larry Johnson put all kinds of moves on Charles Oakley to draw the foul. But I thought Jordan very instrumental in leading the Bulls back, and the game went to overtime. And we'll continue discussing this during the commercial break, John, because I know there's more information you'd like to hear.
I'll be there.
Rangers are back at the Garden to take on Stephon Richer and the New Jersey Devils Wednesday night right here on MSG.
Hey, Yankee fans, see your field of dreams. Take a guided tour of the one and only Yankee Stadium. Visit the field, the dugout, the clubhouse, and more. It's your chance to experience the most famous stadium in sports history, up close and personal. Group tours are available by appointment only. All net proceeds benefit the New York Yankees Foundation. For more information and tour reservations, call 718-293-6013. We'll see you at the stadium.
Charlotte Hornets head coach Alan Bristow and his team has had much success against the Knicks. They've won 3 straight, 5 of the last 6 meetings against the Knicks. We talked with Alan earlier and asked why the success against the New York Knicks.
Well, I think one thing that we do a lot of trapping and we try to get them out of their sets. So they're very, you know, they like to get the ball either down to Patrick or Starks coming off screens, and we've got to do a lot of things in order to make sure that they don't set up in their plays exactly the way they want to. And also, I think we get. You know, we're mentally prepared when we play New York because of the respect we do have for them.
So far, we have not seen the Charlotte trap, although they're trying to put three-quarter court pressure on the Knicks a la Muggsy Bogues a moment ago.
Another 3 by Larry Johnson. He is 3 of 3 from downtown, and the Hornets now lead 17-10. Johnson has 10 of the 17 points as Starks cut around the pick. An offensive foul called on Oakley, who was moving as he set the pick, and Charles argues that call with the official Bill Oakes. Well, you know that Alan Bristow and his staff took a close look at that Knicks net game Saturday night, and the Knicks had problems handling the Nets trap and pressure defense. Problem the Knicks have had over the years. Here's Johnson wheeling in, and then handled by Ewing.
That was 20 turnovers for the Knicks against the Nets Sunday, Mar. That's not winning basketball, but the Knicks were able to pull that one out in overtime, as everybody knows.
Hawkins pegs it down for Burrell. Burrell on the drive. He tried to switch hands while in midair, and then kicked out. Last touch by Harper. There's Charles Smith checking in, replacing Charles Oakley, who did not score. Charles Smith returning from the injured list this past Friday night in Landover, played well. And in 31 minutes against the Nets the other night, 18 points. Foul is called. It's on Starks. Charles Smith was out with the sprained left knee.
The Knicks need Charles Smith's long arms now to get into the face of Larry Johnson and start making him flinch a little bit on those long shots. Then he's going to have the legs moving quick enough to deny him the drive. Big challenge for Charles.
Pat Riley also getting set to insert Hubert Davis. Johnson not able to hit that time, and back comes Harper. Here's Smith putting the move on Burrell. And rebounded by Hawkins. Bogues leading Mourning, and he is called for steps. Alonso could not put the brakes on. And And Davis replacing Starks, who leads with 3 points. He hit his only shot from downtown. The Knicks, after the good shooting start, have dropped off to now 4 of 12 from the field, and Charlotte has hit 6 of 11. Just under 5 minutes to go in the first. Ewing gives it out to Smith.
Interesting double team. Actually, the triple team came to Ewing after he started his move across the middle.
Hawkins for 3. Percy Hawkins from downtown. Charlotte, excellent shooting, 3-point ball club, and they have been doing it here tonight. They're hitting a league high just under 41% from 3-point range. A 9-0 run by the Hornets, leading to a Knick 22nd timeout. So Charlotte is 4 of 4 from 3-point land. There you see that number, just under 41% from 3-point range for the Hornets.
Not only that, Marv, but they have 4 of their top 5 scorers are big-time 3-point shooters. Larry Johnson, who's just put on a show already in this game. Del Curry, 144 makes this year. Percy Hawkins, Scott Burrell are all big-time 3-point shooters. And then they go to Michael Adams when he's healthy, one of the all-time great 3-point shooters. I mean, this is a real combination that's very tough, particularly in combination with the development of Alonzo Mourning, because they now have an inside game of strength to go with this very effective and tough outside game.
And Robert Parrish getting set to come on for Mourning. Ewing rebounded by Hawkins. So Hersey Hawkins helping out down low. Charlotte with 9 unanswered points. They lead 20-10. Johnson able to recover and fires. Mourning on the rebound. Mourning with the bucket. Alonzo happened to be at the right spot. The Knicks not able to get to that loose ball, and the Hornets now lead 22-10 in a very slow start by the Knicks.
The Knicks cannot be content with getting their position under the boards defensively. They have to find, as Charles Smith totally misreads Bonner's presence, they have to find the Hornets big men when that shot goes up to get in their way.
That was the 4th turnover committed by the Knicks. That's the chief, 41-year-old Robert Parrish. Coming on for, well, apparently Alonzo Mourning will stay on the floor, and he'll go to a forward position. Scott Burrell sitting down. It's Parrish, Mourning, and Johnson up front, with Bogues and Hawkins in the backcourt. And it's broken up, last touch by Mourning. 3:25 remaining in this first quarter, and the Hornets with a 22-10 lead. They've scored 11 straight points. Bonner for the outside shot. Always a rarity when you see Anthony Bonner shoot when it's not from in close. Hornets lead 22-12. For the Knicks, their first field goal in 5 minutes and 24 seconds. Parrish bottled up. Good play by Bonner coming over from the blind side to help out.
Bonner's doing Michael Jordan type things, and that is leaving his man and helping out very effectively.
Timeout is called. We'll be back in a moment.
Financing. See your Toyota dealer now during Toyota's Today's the Day spring sales event.
Here's a Perry Ellis look at Anthony Bonner contributing quite unselfishly and astutely to the Knicks team defense. He's worried about Larry Johnson chasing around or Scott Burrell. Now that ball gets inside. Robert Parrish in good position to roll in on Ewing, and Bonner leaves his man and slaps that ball away. Big play by him.
2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and the Knicks are trailing the Hornets 22-12. Charles Smith gets inside and is rejected. Smith again. Ewing Hornets lead by 8. Patrick Ewing with 9 points.
Bonner is really battling Larry Johnson for position.
Johnson able to take that pass, but flipped it right back out. Hawkins with a wild shot. Here's Smith with the lead handled by Ewing, who got it back to Smith, who's rejected again. And Charles hearing it from the crowd. When Charles goes down low with power moves, there's always the vivid memory of the series of the 4 shots against the Chicago Bulls. I know he does not like to talk about it, which is understandable, but we have seen him reject it twice, and then he was not able to hit just a moment ago. And Smith is very quickly 0 for 5 from the field. Foul is called on the Knicks. Loose ball foul on Hubert Davis.
Well, being rejected is one thing, Marv, but what your expectation is of Charles is he should be able to draw a foul by proper use of his body, getting his body in the way of the opponent. I mean, a man 6'10" under the basket should come out of it with something.
Percy Hawkins to the free throw line. Percy, one of the better foul shooters in the NBA at 87%. Comes off a 20-point game against Utah on Sunday afternoon. Percy spent 5 years with the 76ers. This is second season with Charlotte. That's a rare miss at the line. Last year, Hawkins averaged 14 a game. There was a considerable drop from the previous season when he hit it to 20 per game. Well, Charles Smith goes inside, and this time a foul is called. A pushing foul. It's on Johnson.
Pat Riley has to like the determination, the response of Charles Smith on that play. He looked very tough and very determined to succeed.
Scott Burrell is back on the floor. He's matched with Anthony Bonner. Ewing. Rebound Burrell. Scott Burrell, an excellent defensive player who has provided another dimension this season for the Hornets because he's been hitting the three-point shot. Under a minute left in this first quarter. Very poor shooting quarter by the Knicks, who are 6 of 20 from the field. Del Curry has come on for the first time. Shot clock is running down. Johnson able to hit. He thought he was fouled, did not get the call. The Hornets now lead 25-14. Whoa, that's a backcourt violation. Not a smart play by the Knicks.
That's Harper's decision, too. He had a mental lapse. He's the man who is in charge of making ball distribution decisions.
Anthony Bonner was in the backcourt as he received the pass from Derek Harper. Hornets at 50%. The Knicks only 6 for 20. Johnson and the baseline close by Smith. Goes into a series of fakes. They got the crowd going, although he came up short.
He was just determined to shoot no matter what.
Final seconds of the quarter. Hubert Davis. Oh, nicely done. 2 seconds remaining. Down to 1. Here's Bogues. And the shot was deflected by Davis. Hornets 25. Knicks 16 after 1. We'll be back at Madison Square Garden in a moment.
After a week in Florida, you might believe anything's possible. After all, there aren't many places with pink birds, fish that fly, and rides you'll remember for a lifetime. And right now, to help you enjoy it, Alamo is offering a low weekly rate on an economy car in Florida with unlimited free mileage, which makes it easier to spend a week in a place where every day things happen that wouldn't if you were anywhere else.
To be up and down on that chair. This is how we work it. Grab the big Sprite and you know we jerk it right out the fridge. It's just like this with a dab dib. Yeah. Drink
Give a
Sprite.
pound to my man with my right hand.
Yes.
Because I keep the Sprite in the left hand.
Okay.
And then I push the button when I don't want to hear nothing. I let it go when I want to hear something.
Yeah.
This is how we flow when we in the studio. Freestyle with Sprite. Yo, how the rest go. First things first, a big yo thirst. Sprite, all right?
Don't blink. The business world is changing so fast. You might miss something. It's a world in which business as usual can put you out of business. So at UPS, we do more than deliver packages. We do things others can't. From barcoding to managing your inventory, tracking around the world to delivering around the corner. Like you, we have to wear a lot of hats. Ours just all happen to be brown. UPS, moving at the speed of business.
You know, I really hate it when my CD player dies before the disc finishes. So I use Energizer AA lithium batteries from Nobody Beats the Wiz. They just keep on going.
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota. By Coca-Cola. Always jammin', always Coca-Cola. And by UPS, moving at the speed of business.
Well, you can join the Knicks on the road when they take on the Indiana Pacers and Michael Jordan and the Bulls April 14th through April 16th. The road trip package includes round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, a pregame lunch at where else? Michael Jordan's restaurant in Chicago, game tickets, and more. For more information, call Unique Events at 212-268-8844. All Knicks road trips are sponsored by the Dime Savings Bank. And of course, you can go to Michael's house and visit. And
Is that part of it?
Drive to the game with him. And,
absolutely.
Drive home with him after.
I know Michael will be delighted.
It's just Jordan time now, once again.
Second quarter underway, and the Hornets with a 25-16 lead on the Knicks. A very poor first quarter for New York. Here's Del Curry, his first field goal. And the Hornets now lead 27-16. John Starks is back. John playing with 2 fouls. Starks and Hopper and Davis in a 3-guard alignment, along with Ewing and Smith. Burrell with the rebound.
Patrick is not putting any pressure by taking jump shot after jump shot. He's got to put some pressure on the big men of Charlotte by driving that ball a bit, showing some variety.
Curry had it slapped away. Here comes Starks. Charles Smith. John Starks with the lead that was slightly off the mark, and Charles Smith able to handle the pass and hit on a good-looking drive.
That was beautiful. Beautiful break.
And a foul called as Curry is sent flying and is shaken up. Foul on Smith. Del Curry hurting. Percy Hawkins is in the midst of checking in.
Interesting how we don't have a trainer or a coach running over from the Charlotte bench.
And John, we know they care.
I mean,
and now the entire bench comes over to help Del Curry.
Most unusual not to see a trainer run out to an injured player. Curry on the drive, steps on Derek Harper's foot. That's always the cause, it seems, of an ankle injury. Rarely does a player do it by himself. It's always with another player's foot underneath.
Del Curry being helped back to the Charlotte locker room. I see Nick team physician Norman Scott following him in. He'll check him out. Hornets 27 and the Knicks 18. David Wingate has come on along with Hersey Hawkins, so Wingate on the floor for the first time. Here's Mourning off a double team, and he's held. Foul on Smith. It's been an injury hit season for Charlotte. Ken Gaddison on the left, and Michael Adams on the right. Tony Bennett has been out. Greg Sutton's been bothered by the flu. Tom Tolbert has been out. Foul on Smith, who reacts vehemently. A look at the Hornet injury list. Injuries and ailments right there. And now Del Curry is back in the Charlotte locker room.
Oh, Smith had a big reaction, and Ewing kind of gave him a slap on the arm as if to say, cut it out, to Charles Smith.
Charles Smith with his 3rd personal foul. And here's Smith. Charles feeling the impending substitution, getting the shot off before he departs, but after missing his first 5, he's hit his last 2. Hornets now lead by 7. Chant of defense from the crowd. 3-second violation on Mourning. Charles Oakley replacing Charles Smith. Pat Riley is staying with the 3-guard setup. Stark with Hopper and Davis, along with Oakley and Ewing. They double up on Ewing, who fires. It has been a jump shot festival by Ewing. That was last touched by the Hornets.
Boy, the meaning of Robert Parrish to this team. They can take Mourning off Ewing, let him work on Charles Oakley, who's not looking to shoot or be an offensive player, and let Parrish soften up Patrick Ewing. These are great moments now for the Charlotte Hornets until Patrick starts going to that basket. Although now they just switch back with Mourning on Ewing, giving him a different look.
3-second violation called on Oakley. Ewing has hit only 1 of his last 6 shots. So Charlotte in possession. They lead by 7 with 2.5 gone by. Second quarter. Marv Albert and John Andres, Al Troutwood, Walt Clyde Frazier will join us at halftime. Foul is called. It's on Ewing. That is his second. And the electronic wizard is not with us tonight. Howie Singer, our usual producer, under the weather. Ed Caginelli is handling along with Bob Lewis. Howie, incidentally, John, is home sipping hot tea, eating muffins, I'm told, with cream cheese, and wearing the smoking jacket with the U of Mass logo.
It's always,
I know you can picture all that also.
It's always the answer to a bad throat and a touch of the flu. Howie's got it down. Yes, there is a cloud over our broadcast tonight without Howie, but somehow we feel his presence.
Yes, we do. And we hope that Howie is on his way to recovery.
He better not be in Denver with his skis right now, Marv. We may not be talking to him. Do you realize that?
Well, he's sitting back and watching and saying, you know, John should have said that. No, he should have said that. Hornets 29 and the Knicks 20. And the word on Del Curry, sprain of the left ankle. He will not return. Patrick Ewing pops it out. Hubert Davis for 3. So the Knicks, although they have not been playing well, are within 6 points.
Knicks need more contributors to the offense. It makes it easy for Charlotte if it's just Ewing first and then whatever else happens.
Mourning for 3. And a loose ball foul. Foul called on Burrell. That is his first. Alonzo Mourning is 8 of 20 from downtown, which is a 43% ratio. Herb Williams checking in for Patrick Ewing, who is 4 of 10 from the field. 9 points. Starks for 3. Handled by Wingate. Burrell with the lead for Hawkins, and he misses the layup. Williams had it knocked away, recovered by Harper. And Derek with the lead for Oakley, who pops it back out. Starks off the mark and rebounded by Mourning.
So frustrating when a man Oakley's size has that ball about 4 feet from the hoop and passes it outside.
Percy Hawkins lost Hubert Davis on a pick. Nice pass from Robert Parrish. Hornets lead by 8.
Meanwhile, the Knicks have certainly put a stop to the thrust that the Hornets opened this game with.
Hopper on the intercept. Johnson is getting set to check back in, as is Anthony Bonner. Here's Herb Williams. And Burrell with the rebound. Hornets led after one, 25-16. The Knicks went nearly 5.5 minutes without a field goal. An 11-0 run in that stretch by the Hornets gave them the big lead. Shot clock at 4. Mourning. Alonzo Mourning with the shot clock running down.
So tough for an opponent when a man his size can hit jump shots like that.
The Knicks take a timeout. Hornets lead by 10 with 6:46 to go, first half.
Stay tuned after most Knicks and Rangers home games and hear from some of the biggest stars in sports and showbiz. Mike Francesa and Kathleen Murphy host live from the play-by-play right here on MSG.
Look for the building with cars on the roof.
It's the Knicks versus the Denver Nuggets Thursday at 8:30 after game night on MSG2.
Well, the comforts of home leave the Knicks feelings right now after tonight's game. Thanks to our Delta Airlines schedule, you'll see the Knicks at Denver on Thursday and a game to be seen on MSG2. Knicks game night at 8:30. Then Saturday it's out west to the Clippers at Knicks game night at 10 p.m. And then Sunday the tough Supersonics host the Knicks before they come back next Tuesday for a shot at the new look Chicago Bulls.
Hornets have a 10-point lead. Davis. And the rebound handled by Mourning. Knicks in this second quarter have hit 3 of 10 and Charlotte 3 of 6. Hawkins played by Davis.
Oh, with Bonner in the lineup now and Harper out, the Knicks back to a more conventional 2 forwards and a big man. The 3-guard situation of moments ago results in much more pressure on the 2 big men to rebound. The Knicks need more rebounding.
Well, Davis thought that Williams would be cutting. He was not. Off the pick and roll.
Those are the kind of plays that just at this point of the season should not be in the Knick repertoire.
33-23 Charlotte. Scott Burrell off the fake and draws the foul. Scott Burrell in his second year at the University of Connecticut, fouled by Anthony Bonner. Scott, as I'm sure most of you know, an outstanding pitcher, drafted twice by the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays. See Ewing return. Williams sits down. Burrell, a first-round pick of the Mariners in 1989, decided to attend the University of Connecticut, played basketball. Last year he was injury hit, missed 31 games because of knee and ankle problems, and has really made his mark this season.
Well, he was very proud, and the Hornets were proud of him during the All-Star weekend festivities. He participated in the 3-point shootout, got to the semis, and had a great time in the process. He's now the 21st best 3-point shooter percentage-wise in the NBA.
Ewing. 11 points for Ewing, and the Hornets now lead 33-25. Here's Burrell. That was a force, and Oakley with the rebound. Starks going straight through. He saw the opening as he beat Bogues. For 3. Ewing for Davis. Johnson back. Davis rejected. Burrell came over to help.
No Muggsy is something to watch. End-to-end action with him.
What was amazing about that play, he lost the dribble but was able to get it going again and was able to control it. Very, very difficult to do that on the move. Oh, Starks with a gorgeous move on Muggsy. The Hornets by 6, and they call for time. 4:19 remaining, first half. We'll be right back.
I'd have to say Larry is my best friend. The guy is a maniac for sports. He loves to play football. That's his sport, and he's the boss. And he'll never, ever leave a game early.
Is this the Arctic Bowl?
He's rolling out the tarp with him.
Larry!
But all my life, Larry's always done me big favors.
Mike, Diane, Mike.
Hi.
Very big favors.
Yes.
Cheers, buddy.
When you're with a friend as good as Larry, shouldn't you have a Heineken?
My father started out to be a banker and ended up an innkeeper. I think people fantasize with travel. They envision going to exotic places. If you're going to be an innkeeper, you better make people comfortable and happy. Because we're a global company, we wanted a card that would give broad credit privileges throughout the world. And the American Express corporate card was the best for us to select.
The American Express corporate card is welcomed at lots of places that make you feel at home.
This amazing little computer is the brains behind a car so advanced, it belongs in the 21st century. The new Ford Contour. With its unique design and superb engineering, plus dual airbags, available traction control, and four-wheel anti-lock brakes, you get safety and luxury at an affordable price.
Now you can get a new Contour loaded with cassette stereo, air conditioning, and more for just $14,670.
Step into the future with Ford Contour at your tri-state quality Ford dealer.
The Charlotte Hornets' success this year traces a lot to their defensive interest and hard work. John Starks pitching that ball out. Hubert Davis, Scott Burrell getting back. 3 Hornets retreated well to deny the Knicks that basket. At the other end, though, John Starks had some move as he put that ball. He cupped it on his hip and went right around Muggsy Bogues for a beautiful finish on that drive.
Well, Charles Oakley a moment ago with his first rebound of the game, and it is number 8,000 in his NBA career. Slow start for Charles here in the first half. Hornets lead by 6 points. Johnson now played by Bonner. Larry Johnson. Well, Larry opened up the game with a montage of 3-pointers, and he has now done it from all angles. 14 in all. He's the high man. Knicks led by Ewing, who has 11. Morning with the rebound. And here's Johnson. 37-27, Charlotte.
On Hubert's drive, the Knicks left their backcourt wide open. There wasn't a response from other people to fill holes.
Ewing with the drop step. That time was able to avoid the double team. Double team coming late. We discussed earlier in listening to Alan Bristow talking about the fact that the Hornets have been able to trap the Knicks, go with pressure. We have not seen that here to this point. They actually have not needed it. They've had the comfortable lead right throughout. Lonzo Mourning took a hit on the top of the head. He was fouled by Oakley, his third. And Hubert Davis will sit down. John Starks is back.
You can see how difficult it is to deal with Mourning when he gets that ball back to the defensive man, low post. How he drives that ball toward the basket. He spins, he moves. He has the ability to have hip flexibility in thrusting his way to the basket. And he keeps putting the great pressure on his opponent by getting closer and closer to the hoop. And with that hook shot now, which is improving, he's become a real tough guy to defend.
Lonzo Mourning coming off a very strong game against Utah. 10 of 14, 31 points on Sunday. Averaging better than 21 a game. Averaging better than 10 rebounds and better than 3 blocks. So he is among the leaders in all 3 categories. He is smaller than the the average top flight center, but you never know the way he attacks the boards and blocks shots. He goes about 6'10".
Tremendous worker, and those numbers reflect his all-star status of this year, and it appears that assuming his health is there, that he will be an all-star every year. I mean, the guy just keeps coming and coming.
And he's had a strong first half. 11 points, 7 rebounds. Make it 8 rebounds as Mourning rips that one down. Johnson putting on a series of fakes again. Bogues and Bonner with the rebound. 2:40 left in the half, and the Hornets with a 39-29 lead. Here's Bonner, encouraged by hitting that jump shot earlier this first half. But the Knicks do not want to see Anthony Bonner taking jump shots. Bogues with the save. Johnson for 3.
Maybe the answer, leave Larry Johnson wide open.
Well, Charlotte hit their first 4 from downtown. They've missed their last 6. And a foul call. Bogues picking up his second. Alan Bristow, head coach of the Charlotte Hornets, a star at Virginia Tech, second-round pick of the 76ers. Another Charlotte foul on Parrish this time. Bristow spent 10 years in the NBA with 4 different teams and began his coaching career as an assistant under Doug Moe in Denver for 7 years. Last touched by the Hornets.
The fewest points that the Knicks have scored in a half this year is 31. That was in the second half of a game against Milwaukee this year. They're at 29 now with a shade under 2 minutes left.
Only 6 of 18 from the field here in the second quarter. Bonner didn't even look at the basket that time. That jump shot you saw moments ago, I would think, John, was his last jump shot in some time. Off the steal, here's Bogues. Oh, that's an offensive foul. John Starks paid the price on that one, taking the shot from the powerful Larry Johnson.
Boy, that's like a heavyweight fighter decking you. Muggsy Bogues pushing the ball up court. John Starks offering himself up. He had his hands up. Slight cushion effect for Starks on that.
Second foul on Johnson. Minute and a half left in this first half. Ewing fouled, and he will go to the line. Foul on Robert Parrish. For Parrish, his second. After 14 years with the Boston Celtics, he signed with the Charlotte Hornets as a free agent, signed a 2-year deal with an option for a 3rd year, which would mean he'd still be playing at age 44 going on 45.
Well, if anybody can do it because of his conditioning and lifestyle, it's Robert Parrish who could achieve that stretch of a situation to go that far as a professional athlete in this sport. Robert Parrish this year is playing an average of 17 minutes a game. That's a pretty good number. I think they would have been happy with a solid 10 minutes a game.
Well, he's been effective. It's very difficult to find quality play off the bench at the center position, as evidenced by the San Antonio Spurs serious about considering Dave Cowens, who is 46 years old and in decent shape. Ball goes back to New York, and they're just hoping for a couple of minutes. That's because Moses Malone has been injured. He was thought to be the backup center behind David Robinson.
Marv, also what we're seeing is he's putting a nice touch on Patrick Ewing, who's not running away with everything. Taking the pressure off Mourning.
Ewing. 45 seconds remaining in the first half. It has been an awful first half for the Knicks. They are shooting 13 of 41, 32%. And I think very fortunate to be trailing by only 8 points.
Well, the Charlotte Hornets rush their shots a lot. We see that as we witness right now as I say it. But the Knicks aren't testing the defense of Charlotte enough, moving that ball rapidly enough to get good shots.
Shot in that instance, the shot clock running down, but an air ball thrown up by Mourning. And the Knicks are holding for a final shot. the score, Hornets. And they're not going to get it off. That would have counted. Once again, Anthony Bonner received the ball, and there was no way he was going to think offense. And the Knicks are hearing a pretty loud assortment of boos from this Madison Square Garden crowd. They have matched their season low for a half. As you mentioned, against Milwaukee in the second half back on February 7th, they had scored only 31 points, only 31 here in the first half. The Hornets 39 and the Knicks 31. In just a moment, Al and Clyde will sort it all out. We'll be back right after these words.
Rangers are back at the Garden to take on Stephon Richer and the New Jersey Devils Wednesday night right here on MSG.
Enter the home of Hassett and Wantagh, the ultimate full-service automobile dealership, and discover what thousands of your Long Island neighbors already know, that you get something more with our low prices. You get even more than the best incentives, even more than award-winning service priced fairly. At Hassett, you get 73 full-time employees driven by one singular objective: your peace of mind. Hassett in nearby Wantagh.
We were the only station to cover the Colin Ferguson trial gavel to gavel. The first with a verdict. And the first with the victims' reactions.
You haven't heard the last of us.
Now News 12 will be there as the victims of the Long Island Railroad Massacre have the final say. The sentencing of Colin Ferguson, live Tuesday morning. And a special report that night at 8 p.m. only on News 12.
A more effective workout that raises your metabolism fast and burns more calories. In fact, after 5 years, 7 out of 10 people still use their Nordic Track regularly. So you make the choice: hype, hot air, empty promises, or Nordic Track. Don't settle for less than America's best. Call now for your free video and brochure.
It's the Knicks versus the Denver Nuggets Thursday at 8:30 after game night on MSG2.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
There have been first quarters with scores like this, but we are at the half with the Charlotte Hornets leading the Knicks by 8. The only reason the Knicks are even close in this one is their defense. Offensively, very little happening. I'll be back to talk to Walt Clyde Frazier about it all, but first, let's go to the sports desk and Bob Page.
Thank you, Al. Hi again, everybody. You know, Butch Beard keeps trying to convince us how much heart and pride the Nets have. We'll see, as tonight New Jersey's playing a Detroit Pistons team that's just been blown out, absolutely blown out by nearly everybody of late in the midst of a 6-game losing streak, but the Pistons lead by 10 very late second quarter. Former Pistons great Isaiah Thomas on hand. His new role as vice president of the Toronto Raptors. He got an eyeful of the new Detroit hope, Grant Hill. Hill drives for 2 of his 9 first-quarter points. Pistons led 22-14 and by a whopping 31-17 going into the second quarter, where Chris Childs feeds Rex Walters for a jumper. Nets did run off 12 straight points to start the stanza, and they got back in the game. At Orlando tonight, Jersey native Brian Hill of the Magic playing host to the Phoenix Suns in a marquee matchup. Horace Grant with a rebound there. He'll get the ball back on the break, and that puts Orlando up by 1. The Magic trail the Suns by just a half game for best record in the entire NBA. Well, what an uncomfortable scene it'll be tomorrow night at Boston Garden as the Celtics are going to go ahead with their plans to retire the uniform number of the late Reggie Lewis. There was another story today in the Boston Globe in which Lewis is alleged to have used cocaine with the late Len Bias at Red Auerbach's basketball camp in 1985. Tonight in Boston, they're actually holding a telethon for the charitable Reggie Lewis Foundation. It was a big day for Manhattan College's basketball team. Mayor Giuliani, a Manhattan alum, invited the Jaspers to City Hall, where Manhattan Day was proclaimed in honor of their season and that NCAA tournament upset of Oklahoma.
Never thought that I would get the occasion to honor my alma mater at City Hall for their great achievements at basketball.
Well, you know, let's see if we can get to the governor next. You know, let's take it slowly.
Also, Nevada, Las Vegas has reportedly offered its vacant head basketball job to Oregon's Jerry Green. Now this.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Head & Shoulders and Head & Shoulders Dry Scalp, because great hair can't have flakes.
In 5 minutes.
After a week in Florida, you might believe anything's possible. After all, there aren't many places with pink birds, fish that fly, and rides you'll remember for a lifetime. And right now, to help you enjoy it, Alamo is offering a low weekly rate on an economy car in Florida with unlimited free mileage, which makes it easier to spend a week in a place where every day things happen that wouldn't if you were anywhere else.
Sports Desk is brought to you by Alamo. There are over 4 million miles of road in Alamo territory, and with Alamo, all those miles are free.
Former Giants wideout Mark Ingram on the move again. He was traded today by Miami to Green Bay for just a 4th-round 1995 draft choice. He's expected to start for the Packers next year for the injured Sterling Sharp. And Mike Tyson, upon being released from prison early this Saturday morning, is expected to go immediately to an Indianapolis-era Muslim mosque to display his newfound religious faith. They say they're expecting a crowd of 3,000 to accompany Tyson. More from us most evenings at 11 on Sports Desk. Back to courtside in just a moment.
Whether you want to buy or lease a brand new Chrysler, Plymouth, Jeep, or Eagle, you're sure to find what you're looking for when you visit East Hills Chrysler Jeep. It's the one place you'll find a complete inventory without disappointment. And when it comes to price, you'll find my friends at East Hills Chrysler Jeep very, very customer friendly.
Back inside the arena, the Charlotte Hornets lead the New York Knicks 39-31. Now the scoring summary brought to you by Eagle. Test drive an Eagle at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer or call 1-800-2-TEST-EAGLE. We'll start it out at the top, and that means Larry Johnson, who's got it going. 6 of 11, 2 rebounds, 16 points. Alonzo Mourning just about canceling out Patrick Ewing with 11 and 9 rebounds. After that, it's Hawkins for 8, Bogues and Curry for 2. Curry left with a sprained ankle, not to be back. For the Knicks, it's Patrick Ewing and little else. Ewing 15 points and 10 rebounds. He's shooting 6 of 14. The Knicks as a team are shooting 31%, so that just shows you what's going on with everybody else. Al Trawick joined with Walt Clyde Frazier. And Clyde, I'm thinking Anthony Mason in a game like this, but I'm also thinking that the Charlotte Hornets looked at Saturday night's game and saw what the Nets were able to do with pressure, because at one point in that first half, the Knicks went with Anthony Bonner at the point.
Yeah, it's absurd. I mean, they need Greg Anthony. They need someone to orchestrate, penetrate, to devastate. This team becoming their nemesis. The Knicks pathetic in the first half.
All right, some matchup problems, as you'll see, and Larry Johnson having another night against the Knicks. The highlights are brought to you by Minolta's 135EX. Minolta, the official camera of the Garden. And this game started in an ominous way. Larry Johnson clicking off 3 quick threes.
The Hornets lead the league in downtown prowess, around 40%. LJ, 38% this time the right side.
You know, and Clyde, and when he's not doing it out there, he's doing it inside. And there are times when they'll just go and go and go to him until he gets it done.
LJ, former Rookie of the Year, second team team, dream team, 6'7", 250 pounds of fury against the Knicks, creating havoc inside. No one double teaming as he shoots the fall-away jumper.
Knicks sloppy at times with the ball and also not thinking fundamentally at times.
Yeah, watch this. Ewing, the culprit. Patrick not boxing out. The ball comes to Mourning. Mourning, Ewing's protege. You see he wears the same number, that time abusing Patrick.
But in spite of that rough first half, the Knicks are only down 8. Credit the defense.
And this time Mourning gets inside. Bonner helping out from the strong side. Dramatic rejection against Mourning.
Well, we're sitting here with the Knicks at halftime with 31 points. Things will have to change, Clyde. Be good on the radio. We'll be back with Marv and John in the second half of this one at the Garden. It's the Hornets in front.
Times we have are just when we sit down and pick up the guitars and play what comes to our heads. Jake's just a great friend. Western got his backstage passes. Yes. Everybody loves him. Not too sure the neighbors do, though.
When you're with a friend as good as Jake, shouldn't you have a Heineken?
New York Knicks basketball is brought to you in part by the United States Postal Service. We deliver smart solutions for you. By MetLife. Get Met. It pays. And by Mobile, helping you move faster with mobile pay at the pump.
From a Knicks standpoint, a very confusing first half. It takes someone special to put this together. Johnny Hoops is the man with his good friend Marv Albert.
Al, I feel the same way, and I've yet to see John come through in that manner.
Well, Marv, you obviously don't hang with Al and I when we work together.
I see.
He's built his confidence up, which is what the Knicks need right now at their 31% from the field. Charlotte out shooting them, although not that impressively themselves. 3-point shooting in favor of Charlotte. They seem to be better in all phases of the game here in the first half than the Knicks. Free throw department also more attempts by the Charlotte Hornets and obviously more points. Rebounds also in favor of Charlotte. The Knicks are playing here at the Garden like the visiting team tonight in the first half anyway.
And I think these two clubs brought the brand of basketball back to the 60s in the second quarter. 15 points for the Knicks, 14 for the Hornets in the second quarter. And the Hornets are up 39 to 31. Here's Davis for three. Oakley could not get to it. Grabbed out of his hands by Johnson, who leads the break. Feeding Burrell. Hawkins for three. Gilbert Davis starting along with John Starks and Derek Harper. Pat Riley staying with the three guards along with Patrick Ewing and Charles Oakley.
Knicks are dealing with very basic problems throughout this game, and that is the ability to put the ball in the basket. They're just not getting it done in that department.
Hawkins from Johnson. Nicely done. Percy on the reverse, taking the pass from Larry Johnson. And the Hornets now lead by 10. They've led by as many as 12. Oakley. And last touch by Johnson. It has been a rough go for Charles Oakley. He is now 0 for 4 from the field. Only one rebound. As it turned out, it was 8,000 of his career. Gilbert Davis cuts it to a 8-point Hornet lead. Charles Oakley now 8th among active players. Dennis Rodman in front of him by some 400 rebounds. Mourning goes to the hook. And last touch by Oakley. The Knicks coming at 42 and 21. 3 straight wins. They've taken 9 of the last 12. They're 5 games behind Orlando. Orlando tonight playing at home against Phoenix, and they lead by 4 late in the second quarter. Holtz pushed by Harper. Derek Harper called for his first foul.
Bill Oakes making a call that made Derek Harper very unhappy. It's so difficult dealing with Bogues. He's down so close to the ground, and Harper at 6'3" has to get down real low with him. Harper a foot taller than the man he's guarding.
Bogues. Muggsy's been off. 1 for 6 from the field. Hornets lead by 8. Crowd trying to get the Knicks going. Ewing. So the Hornet lead is now 41-35. This is a Charlotte team that has won 40 and lost 25. They're a half game behind the Indiana Pacers. Larry Johnson. Well, we saw some signs of the explosion doing it along the baseline.
He just went around Charles Oakley too quickly from the Knicks viewpoint.
Ewing on the recovery and called for a traveling violation. It's being called a pass to himself. He's claiming it was deflected, and now the officials confer. Barry Fryer and Bill Oakes talked about it, and it is a travel. Crowd reacting to the call. Charlotte Hornets began the season at 0-3. They had a very difficult preseason, hit by injuries and ailments, playing in Paris and Italy. Scott Burrell, his first points of the game. It's a three-pointer, and the Hornets lead by 11.
Hornets have so many answers outside on the perimeter. It makes it very difficult the way they're shooting. The Knicks, that is, to stay with them.
Harper for 3. Starks off the steal. Harper's pass broken up by Burrell, but kept alive. Oakley with a look away that was thrown away, and again the Knicks hearing it from the crowd off the sloppy play. Charlotte Hornets are now 5 of 12 from downtown. Hit their first 4, missed 7 straight, and then Burrell was able to knock one down. The Knicks are 2 of 10 from three-point range. Foul is called as Burrell looked for position against Starks, and Starks is called for his third, and we are hearing a chant of Mason for the suspended Anthony Mason. And a chant that is now picking up.
Anybody who's watched the Knicks on a regular basis knows that in games that have lulls, with nothing happening for the Knicks, as Larry Johnson stamps another three-point shot on the Knicks, Mason has many times ignited his team and pushed them forward to successful endings. It's all Charlotte to this point.
This their biggest lead of the night. They're up by 14. Again, the double team on Ewing. Starks for 3. And back come the Hornets as the poor Knicks shooting continues. They're 15 for 49 from the field. 5 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Hawkins called for steps. Basket will not count. The Hornets with an 8-0 run to take this 14-point lead. Charlotte has won the last 3. They've won 5 of the last 6 against the Knicks.
On the season, though, Charlotte comes off their win Sunday against Utah, or Sunday rather, but they lost their prior 3 as Patrick Ewing shows the touch inside. They lost their prior 3. And one of those losses was to Milwaukee. I mean, Charlotte is not a super basketball team. They are on the verge of the NBA elite, but they're not there yet. but tonight they look like the NBA elite.
And another loss to Washington. Washington, Milwaukee, and Phoenix in that 3-game losing streak. Hornets by 12. Halfway through the third. Hopper. Well, Derek Hopper trying to get his club going. That is only his first field goal. Missed his first 4 shots.
As bad as it has been for the Knicks, they are not that far away if they can manufacture some kind of top-class level play.
Muggsy Bogues. Muggsy not shooting well here. 2 of 8 from the field. Hornets now with a 51-39 lead. Here's Hopper. Rebounded by Smith.
Knicks have got to stretch that defense out, move that ball crisply.
Ewing with the fake. Nice move by Ewing going inside against Mourning. And the Hornets with a 51-41 advantage. Mourning had it slapped away. Hopper over to help. Crowd wants Starks to take Bogues down low. He backs his way. Ewing. Knicks got a break there. Showing some signs. They cut it to 8. And the Hornets call for time. And for the first time tonight, the Knicks are hearing the cheers from the crowd.
Stay tuned after most Knicks and Rangers home games and hear from some of the biggest stars in sports and showbiz. Mike Francesa and Kathleen Murphy host live from the play-by-play right here on MSG.
The Wanto Mitsubishi unleashes the power of the price wizard.
Your price is my command, and I'm granting powerful deals.
The 95 Galant ES at prices you've only dreamed of. 95 Eclipses at prices you won't find in Newsday. 95 Montero leasing at hundreds less. Wanto Mitsubishi sells and leases more in 1 month than most dealers do all year.
Wanto Mitsubishi, put my power to work for you.
Dobler Chevrolet Geo is dedicated to customer satisfaction, even when it comes to their commercials. So this commercial is not going to be one of those typical car ads. No screaming and shouting, even though Dobler Chevrolet Geo has plenty to shout about. Look at the inventory, the super prices. They even have a monthly customer appreciation night at the Uniondale Marriott. So come to Dobler Chevrolet Geo and deal, deal, deal! Just kidding.
We were the only station to cover the Colin Ferguson trial gavel to gavel. The first with a verdict. And the first with the victims' reactions.
You haven't heard the last of us.
Now News 12 will be there as the victims of the Long Island Railroad Massacre have the final say. The sentencing of Colin Ferguson, live Tuesday morning. And a special report that night at 8 p.m. only on News 12.
There is dominance going on in one position for the Knicks. A Perry Ellis look at that dominance, which has been established by Patrick Ewing down low, working on Alonzo Mourning. Patrick getting into the position he wants, a little head fake, and he's got a very short jump shot.
Ewing has hit 6 of his last 8, including 4 of 4 in the third quarter. You see Ewing 10 of 18 for the game, and the rest of the club only 9 of 37. Hornets by 8. 4.5 remaining in the third. Robert Parrish, who just checked back in, rebounded by Patrick Ewing. 13 rebounds for Ewing. Charles Smith is now 2 of 8 from the floor. The Knicks in the midst of an 8-2 run. Bullet pass from Johnson, and Parrish able to go glass. 53-43 Charlotte.
Larry Johnson's drawing double team every single time. And Johnson responded beautifully to Parrish.
Starks, that was a three-pointer, and Ewing is there to put it back home. Three-point attempt by Starks, slammed home by Ewing in an 8-point Hornet lead.
Boy, that was a youthful response by Ewing over Robert Parrish.
Johnson to the fadeaway. Mourning with the rebound, and a loose ball foul called against the Knicks. Foul on Hopper. 13 foul committed by New York. Here's Anthony Bonner replacing John Starks. Only 2 of 10 from the field. Very quiet night for the likes of Starks, Oakley. Smith now guarding Mourning. Ewing defending against Parrish. Mourning. Strong move by Alonzo Mourning. 13 points. 12 rebounds for Mourning.
Mourning's made that hook shot an important part of his repertoire.
Knicks trail by 10. And the Hornets to the double team against Ewing. It opens up the shot to Charles Smith. Hornets lead 55-47. Two and a half remaining in the third quarter. Johnson for 3. Ewing stopped by Parrish, got a piece of it.
That's a soft move for Patrick after the preceding attempt to get that ball in closer.
Parrish, he actually lost control. Robert Parrish pulling one out of the archives. And the Hornets now lead 57-47.
Well, you've been around the game long enough, sometimes you get a break, and that's what Parrish did. It really turned into a one-on-one type game, Marv, with the Knicks just going one-on-one every time. They're not playing as a team against the Hornets on offense.
You just saw the one-on-one move attempted by Charles Smith. Well, second quarter was a 15-14 scenario. The Knicks with 15 points. Hornets only 14. Foul is called on Ewing. Got the shoulder in on the driving attempt by Hawkins. And here in the third, Charlotte has outscored the Knicks 18-16. So neither club burning it up. Ewing will sit down. Herb Williams is back. Ewing with 25 points and 14 rebounds. He is the only Knick in double figures. Hit 5 of 6 for 10 of his 25 here in the third. Hersey Hawkins is now 2 of 3 at the line. And here's Patrick Ewing's teammate at Georgetown, David Wingate, coming back. David Wingate, a guy who's been around 3 years with the Sixers, 2 with San Antonio. Spent a year with Washington. This is third season with Charlotte. John, you look at the point total of Patrick Ewing, 25, as I mentioned. The rest of the Knicks have accounted for only 22 points.
Shocking number of presentation.
Flips it down. Hopper got a piece of it. Recovered by Wingate, but he's called for travel.
Well, Patrick Ewing getting a much-needed rest right now. Pat Riley knows all too well that Patrick is going to be needed for that fourth quarter and a long, long run.
Just under 1 minute remaining in the third. Davis had a notion to put the move on Wingate. And a blocking foul charged to Parrish. That's 3 on Parrish. Team foul number 4 by the Hornets. Starks off a double team, gets it to Smith. Stripped by by Hawkins. Good play by Hersey Hawkins, but his pass picked off by Hoffer. Whoa, Davis with the save, but Bogues on the steal. Very sloppy play by the Knicks.
The judgment by the Knicks tonight is just at such a low. Passing the ball, just a whole on-court judgment on both ends.
And 20 is taken by Charlotte. The Knicks with 13 turnovers. The Hornets with 14. 13 and 2/10 seconds to go in the third. Charlotte will have 9 on the shot clock when we resume. And the Hornets are up 59-47.
Well, you're invited not to miss Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam at the Paramount on Saturday, April 8th at 8 p.m. Hosted by Joe Torre with Kid Capri. And starting the new host of Def Comedy Jam, Ricky Harris. Tickets are on sale now at the Garden box office or at Ticketmaster. To charge, call 212-307-7171. You know, Marv, the last thing that Pat Riley wants to hear about or be questioned about is the absence of Anthony Mason. And if the fourth quarter is duplicated here, if the Knicks continue to play as they are, that's going to start flowing Pat's way, and it's really going to make him unhappy. The fact of the matter is that the Knicks really miss Mason, particularly this home crowd that's looking for fire, which is what he brings.
Mason's suspension, the 5-game suspension. Offensive foul. Foul is called on Wingate. The suspension will be over after the Knick Clipper game on Saturday, so he's eligible to return against Seattle on Sunday in Seattle, but it remains to be seen as to whether, as Holker hits on a sensational shot, 2 seconds to go, and Burrell from center court pops it, and the Knicks are down by 10 after 3. The Knicks will make a decision after the 5-game suspension is over on Saturday as to whether or not Anthony Mason will return on Sunday. We'll be back in a moment.
Leaders, John Stockton heading the list, the all-time assist man, followed by Derek Harper and Muggsy Bogues. Those two fellas have been around a while, and boy, they're right up there with their career assist totals. Very, very high. Muggsy taking a nap, Marv? That is the big question. Oh, no, he's awake.
Form of meditation.
It's amazing. I think Pat Riley, as we see Muggsy's 5 assist totals, would be the first to admit the way we're playing, we deserve to be down by 30. But the Knicks are within striking range as we look at Derek Harper get ready. And the Knicks trying to rejuvenate their attack tonight, which has just been subpar.
Hornets with a 59-49 lead. Second quarter, only 29 points total. Hornets 20-18 in the third over the Knicks. A very low-scoring affair as Bogues comes up with the loose ball.
Charles Smith driving that ball, but the immediate converging of defenders results in him coughing it up.
Hornets 22 of 53, only 42%. This after the good start. And the Knicks only 36%. They've hit 22 of 63 from the field. Here's Bogues with a shot clock running down. Just did beat the buzzer.
He's so fast. No one's blocking his shots tonight.
Charlotte is up 61-49. Fourth quarter just underway. And the Knicks stay with the 3 guards. Smith, too strong by Charles Smith, who has not had an enjoyable evening here at the Garden. 3 of 11 from the field for Charles.
The reaction of the man in the stands is Charles Smith should be under the basket grabbing rebounds and not taking long jump shots. You see hear the booing after a shot like that.
Although these are open shots, he's had good looks, and they are the result of double teams. Burrell keeps it alive.
But you know, the Knicks do lack fire. I mean, there's no question about it throughout this game. They're competing, but they're not playing as if They own the court. It's their place. It's their gym, so to speak. And they must have victory. That one dimension is missing.
Offensive foul on Mourning. That is his second. And here's Patrick Ewing back replacing Herb Williams. Larry Johnson checks in. You would also think that Pat Riley talked about the sense of urgency for tonight's game, but you think that the Knicks would be annoyed by the proceedings in the earlier meetings against the Hornets. Here's Davis. And the Hornets now lead 61-51. Gilbert has hit 4 of 8. He has 9 points. The Knicks players said after that first game, the loss here at the Garden, that they did not appreciate the mugging that was going on by Charlotte players, the extracurricular celebration, particularly in the final minutes of the game. Mourning is fouled. Knicks were looking for a tie-up.
I must say, Mark, the Knicks are getting away with displays after calls that they don't like. Surprise technicals have not been called. Charles Smith early and now John Starks. Automatic technicals to some officials. You see Mourning now working down low. Charles Smith on him. Contact on the play. The official makes the call. The Knicks can't believe it. But nevertheless, give Mourning credit for putting pressure on Charles Smith. That's what the Knicks big men are not doing.
Smith is 4th. We're talking about the game here at the Garden back in late November, won by Charlotte by 10. And then in Charlotte in late January, the Hornets won by 15. And Larry Johnson with the career high of 39, including a club record tying 6 of 8 from three-point range, allowed to come back for a curtain call. That upset several Knicks players. Charlotte was in the midst of an easy win, and the crowd calling for Johnson, aware that he could obtain a career high, and Alan Bristow brought him back in, and he hit a 3, and that annoyed the Knicks. But it has not mattered. That has not been a motivating factor. Harper ends up in the hands of Smith, and he's fouled. Charles Smith.
Mourning is hurt. Mourning is hurt. Like his hand, obviously, in the attempt to stop Charles Smith. Fortunately for Charles, he came out of that with the foul. Smith getting it underneath, backing in, drawing the foul. But you know, Marv, it also, a game like this, which is a quality opponent for the Knicks, as we see Charles Smith going up, drawing that foul, reflects a lot on the character of a team, how they respond to situations. And should the Knicks continue their poor play, I mean, that will be a subject for the Knicks to deal with. The character of their team. Where is their leadership? Where is the sense of laying it all on the floor here as we prepare for the playoffs and show that we can win games like this?
Charles Smith, the first Knick other than Patrick Ewing to go to the foul line tonight. 61-52. 3 minutes gone by in the fourth. Traveling violation called on Mourning. The Knicks with Harper, Starks, and Davis. They go with the 3 guards. They've gone this way most of the game, with Ewing and Smith up front. Charles Oakley has not had a good one. Anthony Bonner has been on and off the floor. Here is Ewing. Rebound, Smith, and a foul. Loose ball, foul on the Hornets. Mourning picks up his 3rd. It is a non-shooting foul for the Hornets, their 2nd team foul.
Good position by Charles Smith, forcing Mourning under the basket, where it's difficult to rebound when the opponent finds himself literally under the hoop, because the ball is going to fall away out a little bit. Doesn't fall right down below.
Percy Hawkins is back, replacing Scott Burrell. Davis. Yes. Foot on the line. It's a 2-pointer. Hubert Davis for the open shot the result of the double team down low, and the Hornets now lead by 7. And Hubert Davis has been a major factor. Parrish able to handle the pass. It counts, and the foul. What a play by Robert Parrish.
And it happens between the Knicks' tallest guys. Patrick Ewing and Charles Smith. Double team comes to Larry Johnson, and he looks off to see the outstretched arms of Robert Parrish. Parrish looks like he bumps Harper out of the way, but it should have been a big man where Harper was, in front of Parrish.
Foul on Smith, his 5th. Hornets 64, the Knicks 54. Smith intending to hit Ewing with that pass, deflected. Knicks have 11 on the shot clock. Davis for 3. Yes. Gilbert Davis keeping the Knicks alive. He has 14 points. He's hit 6 of 10 from the field. It's a 7-point Charlotte lead. Harper on the steal. Harper for Ewing. And the Hornets want to talk it over.
Johnson's team behind us?
Exactly.
Are they members of Hertz #1 Club Gold?
Exactly.
Are we members of Hertz #1?
Not exactly.
So thanks to Hertz, they're going to get to the meeting on time.
And we'll be late?
So exactly what will I tell the boss?
In Rent-A-Car, there's Hertz, and there's not exactly. Make sure you choose the right one.
And then a dog in the cargo hold ate our presentation.
Is he buying it?
Not exactly.
The National Jeep Sale is back. Your opportunity to get a great deal on one of America's legendary adventure vehicles. Buy or lease Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo with up to $1,200 in values. Get no charge air and option package values on Jeep Cherokee Sport. Even the fun-loving Jeep Wrangler has a great deal. So see your Jeep and Eagle dealer now, because something this exciting will be over before you know it.
See your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Well, the Knicks putting something together right now. Finally, some momentum going on now. Let's take a look at the MCS Cannon teamwork play. Here's the MCS Cannon teamwork play now with Muggsy Bogues putting that ball in front of Derek Harper, who takes it away. Harper sets up Patrick Ewing, and oh, did he love that play. Slam dunking it on Alonzo Mourning.
7:45 remaining in the 4th quarter, and the Knicks, once down by as many as 14, are now trailing by 5. The outside shooting of Hubert Davis bringing the Knicks back. 10-3 run by the Knicks. The Knicks had missed 11 three-pointers in a row before Davis knocked down the shot from downtown a moment ago. Johnson on a fadeaway. Not a good shot. Saved by Harper.
This is the first opportunity the Knicks have had to play against the Hornets when they are rattled a bit. The Hornets feeling some pressure now.
Davis for 3. That time a rushed shot by Hubert Davis. Muggsy Bogues for Larry Johnson. Percy Hawkins. Charles Smith doing a good job in fronting Alonzo Mourning. And Smith is tossed to the floor by Mourning.
That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But no foul was called.
Bad pass by Starks. And he is well aware of that. Robert Parrish sitting down. Scott Burrell checking in. 6:45 to go in the fourth. And now the offensive foul on Mourning. That is his fourth.
Take a look at the previous play now. Smith battling Mourning. Watch the physical play. Watch. Whoa. Now you know what, Marv? In replay, Bill Oakes, the official, was standing right there. We did not see Mourning shove him down. It looked like he fell down. Now that call was made, offensive call on Mourning as he dispatched with Patrick Ewing.
Looked like in the first one, though, Mourning got in a pretty good shot on Charles's head, but it's all point of view on how much is let go, because as it turns out, in looking at the replay, it looked like Charles went down. He wasn't pushed down.
See the way Mourning was talking to Alan Bristow, the coach, with very, very firm, angry response to something. And a little difference in the way the huddles on both ends of the court are run. The much younger Alan Bristow letting his players express themselves.
Hornets 64, Knicks 59. Ewing, yes. Time the Knicks were looking to catch. The Hornets did not look to be ready defensively. It's a three-point Hornet lead. Ewing with 29. 12-3 run by the Knicks. Mourning gets inside, called for traveling. That is turnover number 20 for Charlotte.
Everything is turning sour now the last couple of minutes for Charlotte.
Knicks working the ball around, everyone touching it. Charles Smith rejected. That's the third or fourth time he's been blocked, and Smith right back for the rejection. Does it at the other end. Hawker for three. Boats gets it down, and Burrell has the open three. And the ball goes to the Knicks.
Derek Harper just not shooting that ball with confidence. 2 for 9 now in the game. Amazing. The Knicks are 3 points away. Amazing.
Amazing that they have not played well. They were down by as many as 14. They have shot poorly, only 36%. Ewing with the drop step and the fake. Patrick Ewing, 14 for 24, 31 points. And the Knicks are within one. It's been the combination of Ewing and Davis. 14-3 run, 9-0 run for the Knicks, who are right back into it. Hawkins for three. Percy Hawkins stops the 9-0 spurt. Hornets 67, the Knicks 63 with just under 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Ewing comes up to set the pick, and a foul. It's on an over-aggressive Alonzo Mourning. That's number 5. That's not a foul you want to pick up.
Oh, that's very, very bad foul. Mourning playing like Ewing in that he was trying to help out the guards out high, but he committed himself.
5 fouls on Alonzo Mourning. Ewing goes at him. Mourning went for the fake. Good shot by Ewing, but not able to knock it down. With the pick, try to unleash Bogues. Shot clock at 7. Down to 4. Down to 2. Johnson forced it. 24-second violation.
Boy, Johnson can take some real bad shots, and the Knicks, with their intensity level up, are forcing him further and further from the hoop.
Timeout called. 4 minutes remaining. Fourth quarter.
Okay, the shot's set. Everyone's smiling, and then No flash. Next time, use Energizer batteries that nobody beats the Whiz. They just keep on going.
Where's Becker? Where's Becker?
Becker is back. Yes, Becker is back in Island Park with a treasure chest of great deals on new and used Chevys, Geos, and Dodges.
Where's Becker?
Becker has a large selection of pre-owned cars as low as $19.95, plus special used car financing starting at $95 a month at Becker Chevrolet Geo Dodge.
Where's Becker?
You'll find Becker right here in Island Park at 4101 Austin Boulevard, just off Long Beach Road.
Here's Becker. Save a treasure.
Around on over 5,000 acres of beautiful scenic trails or in our indoor arena. Roseland Ranch has swimming, hay rides, barbecues, rodeos, square dancing, and more. At Roseland Ranch, we serve 3 meals a day and have a wide variety of activities which are included in your vacation package. Let the first family of ranching, the Fischeras, show your family a Western adventure. Roseland Ranch, Stanfordville, New York.
I didn't.
We were the only station to cover the Colin Ferguson trial gavel to gavel. The first with the verdict. And the first with the victims' reactions.
You haven't heard the last of us.
Now News 12 will be there as the victims of the Long Island Railroad Massacre have the final say. The sentencing of Colin Ferguson, live Tuesday morning. And a special report that night at 8 p.m. only on News 12.
Hornets with a 67-63 lead on the Knicks. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Starks. That would have counted. John Starks drawing the foul call. Foul on Burrell. That is his second. So a comeback by the Knicks. Spurred by a 14-3 run. They were down by as many as 14. They are now within 4. The combination of Patrick Ewing and Hubert Davis has brought them back. Here is Ewing over Mourning. Yes! Patrick Ewing in the second half is at 9 of 12 for 18 of his 33 points, and the Charlotte lead is only 2.
That was only the second time in the second half the Knicks were at the foul line.
Bones with the open shot. Handled by Davis. Patrick Ewing with 33 points. The rest of the Knicks, 32. Ewing. Rebounded by Johnson.
Oh, it's amazing Pat Riley hasn't used Oakley lately. Going with the 3-guard attack, and it's gotten him back in the game.
Very quiet night for Charles Oakley. 0 for 4 from the field. Has not scored. Only 2 rebounds. Illegal defense call for the first time tonight. So that is the warning. And the Hornets get a new 24. 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining. Fourth quarter in a low-scoring affair. Both clubs shooting poorly. The Hornets start out the ball game shooting well, but it's a different story. Burrell with the save, handled by Harper. Ewing sets the screen. Ewing backs his way. Ewing now played by Johnson. Bad shot. That time a force. Last touch. Let's see Bernie Fryer checking with Bill Oakes. Oakes was looking for help, and Fryer indicated he was not sure what the call is, so they'll jump it up. That was a rare bad shot by Ewing. He's taken a lot of shots. Most of them have been with very good looks. He is now 15 for 27. The Knicks are down by 2. It'll be Hawkins and Starks. Not a good toss. That will be a do-over. Hornets with a 2-point lead as we come up on 2 minutes remaining, fourth quarter. Muggsy Bogues has gone most of the way. Ewing hitting the deck. Mourning is fouled by Starks. And that is number 4 on John Starks.
Well, that's a great foul for the Knicks. Ewing going down, Mourning all alone, and Starks denies the obvious field goal. Hadn't he fouled Mourning so hard.
Alonzo Mourning, 5 of 7 from the line. John, do you believe this score? We're a minute 50 remaining, fourth quarter. Hornets 67 and the Knicks 65.
Well, the Hornets have taken great pride in their defense this year. They're now 5th in the NBA at field goal percentage defense. The Knicks, of course, are best. But this team has come a long way under Johnny Bach of the Chicago Bulls fame. 3 championships there. He's really helped this team immensely.
Well, this is a combination of, yes, the 2 very good defensive teams, but it's also the result of poor play and bad decisions. I mentioned in the first half, this is a throwback to the 70s and the 60s. How about the 50s? 4-point lead for Charlotte with a minute 40 remaining in the fourth quarter. Harper for 3. And Harper's been off, but Ewing able to retrieve. Ewing rebounded by Hawkins. Burrell with the save and recovered by Hawkins. Down to a minute 10 left in the fourth quarter. That's the shot clock running down. It's down to 3. Bogues. Oh, that's an enormous shot by Muggsy Bogues, and it leads to a timeout called by the Knicks. Tonight, field goals at a premium, and the Hornets off the shot by Bogues lead by 6.
The National Jeep Sale is back. Your opportunity to get a great deal on one of America's legendary adventure vehicles. Buy or lease Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo with up to $1,200 in values. Get no charge air and option package values on Jeep Cherokee Sport. Even the fun-loving Jeep Wrangler has a great deal. So see your Jeep and Eagle dealer now, because something this exciting will be over before you know it.
See your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Unsatisfied with his seat, Ed sneaks onto the field to get close to the action.
Okay, now.
11:30, you'll get a chance to review this game once more with Knicks Rewind right here on the MSG Network. Knicks move within 4, but then Muggsy Bogues plays catch with Larry Johnson. Double team goes to Larry Johnson. Muggsy's open, and is he happy about that shot that he made? That's a 6-point lead.
So you are crediting Johnny Bach for the 71-65 score.
No,
or blaming.
I agree with you. Partial credit, not only for tonight, but for what this team has done this year. They have defensive statistics that are very impressive. And John Bach, you know, came from 3 world championships with the Chicago Bulls and brought something with him, and that is the defensive intensity that they now have, and the smarts also.
Knicks are trailing 71-65, just under 1 minute remaining in this fourth quarter. Ewing, and rebounded by Mourning. He is fouled. John, to show you how bad things have gone here tonight, both the Knicks and the Hornets have a chance in terms of statistics to record their lowest point totals of the season, and also to record their lowest opposition point totals of the season. The Knicks low for the year, 81 points. They scored 81 on 2 occasions, against Atlanta, against Utah. They have 65, so we know this will be their lowest total unless they tie it up in overtime. And Charlotte's low is 80, and they have only 71 points. This will also probably be the lowest for the opposition. The Knicks holding the opposition twice to 74 points, and Charlotte held Detroit to a 78-point output back in early February. The Hornets with a 72-65 lead. Timeout taken by the Knicks with 48 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, and we will take a break. We'll be back to Madison Square Garden in a moment.
These days, people who really understand money carry the Discover Card. That's because the Discover Card Cashback Bonus Award is just that, cash. Everyone can use more cash, and there's no annual fee. That's why the Discover Card is the choice of people who really know the drill. It pays to discover, accepted wherever you see the Novus Network sign.
In 5 minutes, Eva.
We'll take a look at the timeouts. The Hornets with 3 full, the Knicks with 1 full timeout left. One of the horrifying jobs of Pat Riley tonight will be looking at the statistics of his team's play. The Knicks have been to the foul line a total of 5 times tonight. Ewing has been there 3 for 3. And Charles Smith has been there 1 out of 2. I mean, that's unbelievable. 5 times. Ewing has taken 30 shots tonight and has been to the line for 3 foul shots. I mean, how do you criticize Ewing, who's carried his team offensively, and yet the offensive selection is such that he only goes to the line 3 times? The Knicks shooting the ball at a 35% clip throughout this game has been the big problem.
Bowles got a piece of it. And the Knicks will throw it again.
Starting forwards, Bonner and Oakley, 2 points between them. Smith, 7-point total, 3 of 12 from the floor. Just very difficult numbers for Pat to go over tonight.
Down to 45 seconds. Ewing. And the Hornets now lead 72 to 67. Hopper going for the steal. Is called for the foul, or argues the call. And he is wondering how Jim Kinsey saw it from that angle. He was all the way up court. Knicks are over the limit. Fewest free throw attempts in the history of the Knicks franchise in one game was 4 at Atlanta in March of '74. They've had 5 here tonight. The fewest points in a single game by the Knicks. This since the emergence of the 24-second clock was 61 at Detroit in April of '92. So they are just beyond that with 67 points.
Producer Eddie Caginelli tells me, Marv, that the Knicks' previous low from the field this year was November 26, 37% against Charlotte. They were 30 for 82 in that game, and this one they're 30 for 83.
So a host of negative statistics being digested, with the Knicks down 74-67, and a foul is called with 31 seconds remaining. Hornets now over the limit. Hawkins with the foul, so that serves to stop the clock, and it can cut it to a 5-point lead. But the most remarkable stat of all, Patrick Ewing, who's the high man of the game with 35, with his 35 as opposed to the rest of the Knicks only 32 points. It's a game that brought forth the chant for Anthony Mason. Not to say if Anthony Mason were here, things would be different, but you know, he does give them, as we discussed earlier, a lift, with Mason serving the suspension. Bowles called for the foul. Foul on Davis. Knicks are over the limit, and now Bogues to the line. He's 2 of 2 at the foul line.
And of course, the fishbowl that the Knicks live in will result in a lot of analysis about attitude, and comments made earlier about the team has not had a team meeting since the explosions of last week. And is that important? Are they together? Because they certainly played poorly as a team throughout this game, except for a burst here in the latter stages of the game.
Timeout taken by the Knicks. 26 seconds remaining.
It's not just how you play the game. It's how you call for the ball.
Come on, baby, I got him. Give me the rock, baby. Look up. For the road. Looking at it, baby. Come on, hit me off. Hit me off. Ah! Yeah, yeah.
If you're talking my game,
You don't know, you better ask somebody.
you're talking Foot Locker.
The news is not good. Sales have never been worse. This is our 4th consecutive quarterly loss. Revenues are down. I'm asking each of you to take a 10% pay cut.
This week, 500,000 New Yorkers will find out what winning feels like. Take 5 from the New York Lottery. Oh, how sweet it is.
The Hornets with a 76-69 lead on the New York Knicks. We are down to 26 7/10 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter. Well, that's the guest list coming up on Live from the Play-by-Play following the Knicks post-game show. Hubert Davis of the Knicks, actor Ron Silver, the coach of the Manhattan Jaspers, Fran Fraschilla, Thomas Randolph of the Giants, and RCA recording artist From Good Home. It's coming up following Knick basketball. 7-point lead for the Hornets. Starks looking for the three-pointer. Gets it off. Air ball handled by Johnson. Morning. And the Hornets now lead 78-69. And for the Knicks, a very bleak performance here at the Garden as they now look to a 3-game Western trip beginning Thursday night in Denver. Charlotte finishes off with a 12-4 run, and they make it 3 out of 3 against the Knicks this season. And all have been convincing. The Knicks have now dropped 4 straight and 6 of the last 7 against the Charlotte Hornets. Final again, Hornets 78. And the Knicks 69. We'll be back with the wrap-up in just a moment.
To within 1, and then the Hornets re-exploded down the stretch to win this one 78-69. He did not outduel Patrick Ewing tonight, but Alonzo Mourning will take it because he winds up on the winning side of this one with 18 points and 14 rebounds. This was an intense effort from the very beginning. Alonzo, how'd you feel about it?
Work with this one.
Yes, they did. The Charlotte Hornets have now taken 6 of the last 7. If the Knicks are in their heart and thinking that they are a better team than Charlotte right now, you'd really have to dig deep to find evidence of that. We will be speaking with Larry Johnson in just moments, but first, let's go to Bob Page at the Sports Desk.
Thank you, Al. For once, I'm nearly speechless. I mean, all you guys have been dumping on the Knicks all night long, so there's not much else for me to add about how horribly they played at the Garden tonight. We have been searching for highlights of this evening's game. We think we have some. We'll show them to you now. Did the Knicks come to play this evening? Hard to tell, but it certainly looked like Larry Johnson was ready. And indeed, in the first quarter, he had 3 3-pointers. Here he puts the Hornets on the scoreboard with a triple. That made it 5-3 early. Knicks did go inside to Ewing, who looked good in the early going. Hits a turnaround, gets the call. He had 15 points for Pat Riley at halftime. Now Larry Johnson, with a shot clock winding down, hits a turnaround jumper. Charlotte was up 25-14. They led 25-16 going into the second quarter. Del Curry, who had come off the bench late first, being carried to the locker room. He turned his ankle stepping on Derek Harper's foot. Alonzo Mourning now hits a jumper from the corner. He had 11 points in the half. It was 33-23. John Starks trying to get the Knicks back in it. Nice move past Muggsy Bogues. Lays it in. It was 33-27. Now off a Ewing miss. The Hornets break out. Larry Johnson gets an easy layup out of it. He had 16 in the half. 37-27 Charlotte. They led by 8 at intermission. Pat Riley, not much else he could do was sit and take it as the crowd started an Anthony Mason chant. Now Larry Johnson finds a cutting Robert Parrish, and the Hornets lead was 10 in the third. Off a Starks miss, Ewing does slam it home, 53-45, but the end of the third quarter still saw the Hornets up 59-49. In the fourth, Derek Harper with a steal, drop pass to a trailing Ewing for the big dunk, 64-59. New York was to get it down to 1 point, but a big play here down the stretch saw Larry Johnson posting. Knicks double. He kicks it out to Tyrone Bogues for an easy jump shot. The Hornets by 6. Never headed after that. New York never got to the free throw line. Awful loss, as we say tonight, for the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. As for the Nets, they are playing at Detroit against a Pistons team which has just been beaten up by everybody on a recent West Coast road trip. Detroit had lost 6 straight games. The Nets made a comeback of their own in the second half of this one in suburban Motown, but the Pistons are leading 98-91, that with about a minute and a half to go in the contest. Shaquille O'Neal and the Orlando Magic playing host to the Phoenix Suns tonight in a potentially important matchup. Third quarter, it's Shaq throwing it down. 68-51, Orlando up. He had 20 points going into the fourth quarter. Later on, off a miss by Nick Anderson, it's Anthony Hardaway who tips it in. He had 21 points through 3 quarters. Orlando will pick up still another game on the Knicks in this one. They'll lead New York by 6. They are blowing Phoenix out 95-74. And what's more, with this victory, Orlando moves past the Suns for best overall record in the NBA. And, of course, if the NBA Finals should come down to a Phoenix-Orlando matchup, that would give Orlando the home court advantage in the final series. Another big matchup tonight at Houston. Seattle now on top of the Rockets, 51-49 at halftime. Houston working on a 5-game win streak. And the others in the league this evening, Indiana at Miami. The former Marist star Rick Smits has 24 points for the Pacers in that one. And Indiana must win to stay on top of their division now that the Charlotte Hornets have won. Milwaukee over Golden State big at halftime as Milwaukee trails the Nets for the final playoff spot in the East. Washington at Portland is a 10 o'clock start. Who says it's a down year for the Big Ten in college basketball? 2 games tonight in the NIT, and Penn State has won one of them at Nebraska. Iowa taking on Ohio U, and the other one just underway at Iowa City. In the Major League Baseball talks today, they did meet Donald Fehr and Bud Selig. Secret talks again for the 2nd straight day, but no word on what, if anything, was accomplished. We're usually here at 11 o'clock with more from the MSG Sports Desk. See you later on during Live from the Play-by-Play. Back to courtside in just a moment.
Bud.
Not just some, everyone. Adding up to $500 cash back.
And Joe was a guy, a pure shooter. Nobody could shoot on the back. And to create it, but at the end of that creation was devastation.
Welcome back inside the arena here at the Garden, where the Charlotte Hornets have shocked the Knicks once again at the Garden, 78-69. 18 points and 14 rebounds. The numbers of Alonzo Mourning. No, he did not outplay Patrick Ewing tonight, but I would think that Alonzo at this point, getting ready for the playoffs, it doesn't matter anymore. Let's just beat the Knicks and show them who's boss in this conference.
Well, to tell you the truth, I'm not really into outplaying Patrick Ewing. I'm not into outplaying any of the other centers I play against. It's all about winning. I don't care how many points they score. It's all about how many points we have on the board at the end of the game.
I thought you guys came in completely prepared. You had a complete game plan that was to pressure the ball that the Knicks brought up the floor, and you did it from start to finish, and you completely prevented them from getting any kind of a good shot for almost the entire game.
Without a doubt, you could just see our intensity on the court defensively. We did a tremendous job defensively, and we had a lift from our bench as well. Muggsy played a lot of minutes tonight. We really don't want to put that much pressure on to play those minutes, but he gave us a big lift. Handling the ball and doing a lot of things on the court. We had a contribution from everyone, and you could just see the consistency there this evening. And that was the most important thing. The consistency was there. We had mental lapses here and there because New York's a good team and they made a run, but we tightened up our belts and we just wouldn't fold.
Not nearly enough Knick free throws. If you're a Knick fan tonight, they didn't seem to challenge enough inside. Did you sense a lack of challenge from the Knicks in your part of the court?
Well, they challenged us a great deal, to tell you the truth. Hey, I got an ice bag here. I got one on my hand, so, hey, they must have did some type of challenge. Yeah.
Well, even the perimeter defense. The Knicks couldn't get a three-pointer in that last minute if the NBA championship depended on it. They just could not lose anybody.
Well, you got to credit our defense as well. New York had some great shooters, and we knew that they were going to pound the ball inside the Patrick, and it was very difficult for my teammates to drop back and double team on Patrick, you know. So it just left him with free reign in the middle, because if they would have double team, he would have kicked it back out to the shooters. And Hubert, he's a tremendous shooter, and John, he's a streaky shooter, as well as Harper, you know. So we just had to sit back, you know, and put a hand up on Patrick's face, you know, and try to make him beat us. We wasn't going to let him beat us from the outside.
Alonzo, can the Knicks possibly make a case that they are still the better team than the Charlotte Hornets or not?
Well, we won 3 games this year, and you can just take it how you see it, you know. And I think that the Knicks are a very talented ball club, but we're a talented ball club as well, you know. We're a young, up-and-coming team, and we're hungry. We want to be where the Knicks have been. We want to be in the finals.
That was a very politically correct way of answering the question. Thanks a lot, Alonzo.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Alonzo Mourning smile telling the story as the Hornets come once again into Madison Square Garden and beat the Knicks. We'll be back with a lot more post-game coverage, but first, let's go to Marv Albert.
All right, Al, in the final, the Charlotte Hornets with a 78-69 victory, 69 points, equaling a club record for the fewest points scored here at the present Madison Square Garden. A 69-point game by the Knicks against the Bulls back in October of '73 was the low, and the Knicks have equaled that. Certainly a dubious distinction. A very long night at the Garden tonight for the Knicks as the Hornets make it 3 out of 3 this season against New York. The Knicks now head west. Thursday night, Knicks game night at 8:30. That'll be an MSG2 presentation as the Knicks go against the Denver Nuggets, first of 3 in the West, followed up by games against the Clippers and the Supersonics. The Knicks post-game report is coming up. Pat Riley should be in a delightful mood, and we'll hear his comments in a moment. Madison Square Garden announces clothing is provided by Perry Ellis Menswear. Marv Albert with John Andres saying so long from the Garden. Al will be back in a moment with the Knicks post-game report.
Is our first order of business, and it favors the Charlotte Hornets, who have now taken 6 of the last 7 in all 3 meetings this season. 78-69 the final. Al Trautwig back with you. Let's establish one thing. This was a very big Eastern Conference game for the New York Knicks, with all the losses that they've suffered to the Charlotte Hornets, and the response that the Knicks gave in tonight's game is completely shocking. Fundamentally, they were not strong. They shot the ball badly. They had no answer for Charlotte's defensive pressure on offense. In fact, the offense never clicked. Patrick Ewing scores 35 points and outscores the entire rest of the Knicks team. It's hard to envision that this team is where it is, but yes, if they are recoiling from all the turmoil of last week, it is pretty obvious that this Knicks team is nowhere close to being ready to challenge anyone for much in the NBA's Eastern Conference. If we were nearer to the postseason, this would really be an alarming night for the New York Knicks, but thankfully for them, there is still time. Let's take a look at some of the numbers from tonight's game. First off, the final stats. Now, you'll see some of the numbers are not that bad. The Knicks shot 35%. That's not good. 3 for 18 from beyond the stripe, and that was because the Knicks did not get one good look from the perimeter. The Charlotte Hornets defense was all over them. Alan Bristow, he's taking his shots, but he's got this team playing. And the Knicks, they went to the line 7 times. Only 3 Knicks attempted free throws tonight. They must challenge inside more than that. They were beaten on the boards, and we know that that's never a good sign. They did outpass Charlotte, but in the end, that was not enough. Charles Oakley, a very quiet night. No points, only 2 rebounds, and not in there for crunch time. Let's take a look now at the leading scorer summary. It's brought to you by your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. There's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealers. First, the story for the winners, and that's the Charlotte Hornets. Larry Johnson did all his damage back in the first half. He got only 3 points, or make that 5 in the second half, finished with 21, 8 rebounds, but he seemed to be in the middle of everything good that Charlotte did. Alonzo Mourning had 18 and 14 rebounds. Hawkins 15, Bogues with 12, and the little guy also delivered 6 assists. Robert Parrish off the bench, solid for 7. For the New York Knicks, it's Patrick Ewing, and that's it. 35 points for Ewing and 18 rebounds, 16 of 32 from the floor. But how about this? Anthony Bonner, Charles Oakley, Derek Harper, John Starks, Charles Smith, and Herb Williams combined to shoot 8 for 42. Yes, the Knicks did make this exciting with a run of about 6 minutes. 12-4, I think, was the total. They got to within 1 point of the Charlotte Hornets in the fourth quarter. But all that did was give the Charlotte Hornets another opportunity to show the Knicks how much in control of this game they were. They finished it with a run of 14-6. The Knicks couldn't get a shot. They could not get a three-point shot off in the last minute when they were desperately trying to hang on. The New York Knicks lose tonight to the Charlotte Hornets. Just a signal of how much more lies ahead in terms of work and readiness to get themselves ready for the postseason. That little turnover just tells you part of the story tonight. And there were others. We'll hear from Pat Riley when we come back.
The New York Knicks postgame report is brought to you by Citibank. For banking anytime, anywhere, any way you choose. At Citibank, the city never sleeps.
So stop just thinking about it and join the club. Call Bally's Jack LaLanne Fitness Center now at 1-800-WORKOUT. What do you think you'll do with that new body of yours?
One more time, the final score, the Charlotte Hornets 78, the New York Knicks 69. At 33rd and 8th, the Knicks tie their record for an all-time low in terms of points, 69. Now, as we continue on our post-game report, we will hear from the Knicks head coach, Pat Riley, but we had a chance to catch Alan Bristow as he walked across the floor. So let's get from you the thought of how your team, I thought, executed brilliantly whatever game plan it was that you came up with.
Well, it just seemed like we were able to do some trapping and doubling down on their big guys, and they just really had a tough time, being able to get some easy shots. I mean, they got we made them work for almost every shot they got. They got a few easy buckets there when they made the run in the fourth quarter, but otherwise I thought we did shut them down, and we had some good and of course Ewing is almost unstoppable at times, but I thought we did a good job. And with Del Curry going out with an ankle injury, I didn't know if we had enough points to beat this Knicks team, but holding them to 69, you're almost confident you're going to get 75 points.
Coach, how much of what you told your team tonight had to do with watching the game film of New Jersey's success here Saturday? Any of it?
No, because we have been doing that trapping. I know that they did do some trapping here in the fourth quarter, and they ran some zone half-court traps. We don't quite do the half-court zoning as much as we do is trying to double off the right people and trying to catch them. We've been doing that for the last couple of years, and with their offense, sometimes you can find little things that maybe you can help you, go into the next game. But they did a good job adjusting. They had the smaller lineup in there, and I thought when they had Davis and Starks and Harper, it gave us a little problems.
Now, this, of course, is a very big Eastern Conference matchup as you look toward May and June and who knows where. What has your team done in terms of self-confidence in playing the Knicks and winning 6 out of the last 7? What has it done for them?
Well, I just know that the Knicks are we respect the Knicks, and they're such a tough team that if you're not ready to play them, they'll destroy you physically and well as mentally. And somehow the Knicks make us sort of rise up another level, and that tells you how much respect we do have for them. And I think it's not that we're afraid of them, but we sure respect them. And I know that we don't want to relax one bit, because if you do, then all of a sudden they can get that mental advantage on you.
Coach, thanks a lot for this visit, and congratulations.
Okay, Al.
Alan Bristow, the head coach of the Charlotte Hornets. That's one perspective, and obviously he's thrilled. His team has beaten the Knicks 3 straight. What about Pat Riley? What does he think of the effort and the result that his team achieved here at Madison Square Garden tonight? Let's listen.
It didn't look as though at one time either team was going to get to 70. We just had a horrible start, from an offensive standpoint, and they really make you make a decision, as to how you can play. It's obvious that we can't not play big against them, and that we have to go down and go small because of their trapping. But, the second half we had some great opportunities once we got, down 14 and got that thing back to 1. We had some great shots at that time, and, could not convert them. And that's what it's about. When you're down and you make this dramatic effort to get back into the game, and then you have a chance to win it, you got to make them. And we just did not make the shots that we had to get us over the hump.
Coach, have you resigned yourself that this is the way your team really is just weak, just not consistent on offense, but very strong defensively, always keeping?
No, I think we've had our moments. We have had our moments, and it really has a lot to do with matchups. You know, I mean, when teams are going to take us away from our strength, and if we're not pounding them with our size before quickness and shooting get to us, then, you know, we have to make adjustments, especially if our offense is, you know, as bad as it was in the first half. You know, we just couldn't get shots to drop. We didn't have any kind of balance, real balance. And so, you know, that's going to happen at times. They did a good job, you know, defensively on us. And, you know, they leave the people that they don't think can shoot or can really hurt them or play the percentages with that game, and that's who's left shooting the ball. So, you know, you got to make some decisions and go another way.
Were you happy with the shot selections throughout the game?
In the first half, I thought it was probably one of our worst games of the year as far as moving the ball, making the extra pass. You know, the frustration sort of set in, and guys were trying to self-will it, but there were more open men missed, you know, by making an extra pass and leaving it there. And I thought in the second half we did a better job. But it was an ugly game. It was an ugly game for both teams. You know, we started to play much better, much harder defensively in the second half, and but we just couldn't get enough offense generated. You know, we just basically had Hubert and Patrick were the only ones making shots, you know, in the second half, and we needed a couple timely hoops from somebody else.
Had extended minutes tonight for the three-guard lineup.
Well, it was, yeah, it was, you know, but that's, you know, that's the way I went with it. We had a couple of days to rest, and guys were rested, so, you know, that happens sometimes in this league.
So do you chalk tonight up to what they did mostly right on defense, or what you guys did not do on offense?
Well, I think their defense bothered us a little bit. You know, they weren't like New Jersey the other night, but I think offensively we just were not sharp and efficient. You know, we're missing shots and missing layups, and we just, you know, we only had 7 free throw attempts. We were not going to the basket real strong, and you know, that's right. But we still had a chance to win the game, you know, because we did play hard and defend in the second half.
Pat, can you comment on Charles Oakley's lack of time in the second half?
Again, that game sort of diffuses it. You know, we needed to get more offense and more perimeter shooting, and he got himself in foul trouble a little bit, and so just sort of elected to go, you know, with 3 guards, and Charles was an offensive force inside. So, you know, we got to keep working that out.
I think Patrick at the end maybe had the character. I mean, you had to go to him so much.
Well, you know, the thing about it is not going to him. We're running plays, catch and shoot plays for Hubert. And, you know, we can't catch and shoot. Somebody's got to put the ball on the floor. You know, we try to run some pick and roll plays to get some penetration. But all the great ones it's like a magnet. You know, it comes back to him in dire straits. And, you know, that's why he's there. You know, if we could have got a timely jumper from here and there, I think we were 1 down. It would have been different. But the biggest play of the game is when with 2 seconds on the shot clock, when we stunted off of Hawkins and he hit the 3 and put him up 4. That pretty much was the clincher. 1 stop there. If we ever could have got ahead of him, then you never know what kind of energy could have been generated from that.
What do you expect on the upcoming road trip?
It's going to be a tough one. Denver plays extremely well at home. You know, we got the Clippers, and we're at Seattle, so it's going to be a tough trip. Got to play very well.
Do you expect the team to be playing at this point in the season the way they are?
What's that?
Did you expect the team to be playing at this point in the season the way they are?
Well, going into tonight, you know, and trying to keep it in perspective, we've had 11 different starting lineups. And before tonight's game, we were 4 games in the loss column off the best record in the league. So, you know, I mean, you can look at it any way you want. You know, we just won 3 games in a row. We had a tough home game tonight, lost a tough game, didn't play well at home. So I think you got to keep it in perspective, and at the same time look to build now towards the playoffs, regardless of what the situation is. So, you know, did I think at this time we would be playing better than we did last year? Well, hell, last year we won 15 in a row at this time. It was a whole different set of circumstances. And, you know, so we got to keep working on our game.
Coach, is there 1 or 2 specific reasons you don't match up well against Charlotte?
It's just a tough matchup. It's a different match. They run. They got 3 guys who can shoot threes. You know, Muggsy is a little, you know, he's quick. You know, Alonzo steps out. Morning, Johnson steps out. He can shoot threes. I mean, it's a perfect example. Their power forward is shooting 2 threes to start the game to put them up 6. You know, I mean, it's a different kind of team for us, but we're going to have to solve it. You know, that's 3 in a row they've dealt with us, so got to deal with it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Pat Riley taking it easy on his team, thinking maybe they've been pounded enough lately. In the coaches conference brought to you by the New York Times, he called it an ugly game for both teams. He also spoke of the shot that just killed the Knicks when they got to within one. Hersey Hawkins let go of a three. Here it comes.
Hey Joe, want to ride on the Tower of Terror? Come into any Nobody Beats the Wiz and enter to win an all-star vacation to Walt Disney World.
Nobody beats the Wiz.
For free shop-at-home service and a location nearest you, call Elegant Entries at 1-800-482-6900.
People at Jarrow Building Industries. When you call Jarrow at 1-800-REMODEL, you'll be working with talented professionals who will take you through every critical step of your remodeling project, designed to fit your budget. Jarrow Builders has been providing quality remodeling work for over 29 years and offers a 3-year warranty on workmanship and materials. Call Jarrow Builders today at 1-800-REMODEL and begin to work with the best.
$49.95 and onward and upward, never looking down. All the risks are known. And though some may falter, one thing will never change. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. When it comes to investing, it's important to gain as much as you can. And these days, very few investments offer the gains that government-regulated exchange-traded options offer. Call now to discover how an investment of $5,000 in the right market at the right time could realistically turn into $20,000 in less than 3 months. Take to step upward and call to receive a complete investment kit that will show you how to put a minimum of $5,000 to work in commodities exchange-traded options. There is no cost or obligation. So
It's always been true. This Bud's for you.
And the Knicks won this aspect of tonight's game, the Beechwood Age Budweiser dunk of the game. Knicks making a move, looking for something positive, and Patrick Ewing said, yeah, I've got 2 positive things to say. He went on to score 35 points in tonight's game, playing as hard as he possibly can. But what else is new from Patrick Ewing? Also, the numbers for him include 18 rebounds. But, of course, as we've documented, there was very little after that. A short while ago, our own Gus Johnson was in the Knicks locker room to talk to the Knicks center. Here's how that went.
The end of that.
You know, it was a tough loss for us. We fought all the way back to cut it to 2. But then, you know, it just seemed like none of the shots that we took after that could drop. You know, it'd go in and come back out.
How concerned are you with the trouble with Charlotte, trouble with Orlando this year? These are teams that you have to beat in the playoffs.
Well, you're right. They're the team that we have to beat, but, you know, we still have a lot of confidence in ourselves. You know, in my mind, we haven't played Charlotte or Orlando the way that we're capable of playing them. And, you know, the playoffs is a new season. And just got, you know, we can't worry about that.
You got this road trip now. Go to Denver, Clippers, Seattle, and the compounded. You come right back here after going, what, 4,000 miles, 5, 6, 7,000 miles, play Jordan and the Bulls. 10 years.
It's going to be a tough road trip. Looking forward to it. That's it.
It is a tough road trip. First stop Denver, next stop L.A. for the Clippers. That's the good news. The next night in Tacoma, it's the Seattle Supersonics. Now, that Game 5 of Anthony Mason's suspension is Saturday night at the Sports Arena in Los Angeles. Now, the Knicks have said they are going to reevaluate his status after the 5th game. Well, that would mean that Mason would probably learn at some point late Saturday night whether to fly to Tacoma to be with the Knicks. That's a lot to ask of a player. Moments ago, I learned that Anthony Mason has not been told anything about whether to expect to fly west. So it'll be interesting to see, and it seems almost a lock that Anthony Mason's suspension should be 6 and not 5 games. But that, of course, will be played out in this upcoming trip out west for the New York Knicks. And who knows, maybe this team could use a little trip away from home. But their 3-game winning streak is over. And I think it's official, too, that Derek Harper's in a slump. Tonight, he shot only 2 for 10, 6 points, 9 assists. But really, his struggle with Muggsy Bogues went on from start to finish. Here's Harper.
just disappointed more than anything, you know. I think you lose to a team 3 consecutive times. It just takes a lot out of you, basically.
At one point, I'm not sure, I haven't looked at the final statistics, Ewing had outscored his collective teammates, which he's a great player, but he needs some help.
Well, it's nothing you can do about not making shots. You know, you take shots, you get good looks. You have to find a way to step up and knock shots down. But, you know, the fact that Patrick had it going and the rest of the team didn't, it's not a lot you can do about that. I think you give yourself a chance. This was our type of game to win, even though we weren't shooting the basketball well. We had some opportunities and just couldn't get over the hump, just couldn't make a play to give ourselves a chance to put a little pressure on them.
Yeah, Denver, Seattle, Denver, Clippers, Seattle, 3 games in 4 nights, and you come back cross-country, long trip, play Chicago. Welcome to the NBA.
That's the way it goes. It's a grind at this point anyway, and you know, I like to go out on the road on a positive note, but the fact that we aren't, we just have to find a way to get off to a good start on the road trip, and I think that'll be enough to get things turned around for us.
Derek, in a game like this, you guys, the fans, and everybody in the vicinity, they're used to some spark coming in the game and contributing, that spark being Anthony Mason. And did you feel his absence today?
It goes without saying that you miss a player like Mace. That's not here or there, I don't think. He's not here. He's suspended for now. And even though we miss Mace, you know, you have to go out and try and take care of business without him.
Well, the fans missed him too. On one of the worst moments of this Knick night, the fans chanted for about a minute or so, Mason, 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 as he serves game 3 of his supposed 5-game suspension. The Knicks, over that course of time, 2-1, but they lose tonight to the Charlotte Hornets once again. They're 0-3 against their Eastern Conference rivals on this season. As you could hear from that locker room, that disappoints the Knicks greatly. The final 78-69. The reality for the Knicks is that all they can do is win their next game. That's all they can do. And the site will be McNichols Arena. They'll take it on the Denver Nuggets a mile high. MSG2 is the place. Game night starts our coverage at 8:30 here on MSG. We'll continue on into the night by taking you live to the play-by-play. Hubert Davis should be there with Mike and Kathleen. Actor Ron Silver. Fran Fraschilla, what a great run he had. Thomas Randolph from Good Homes will be there too. Well, Howie Singer under the weather. Eddie Caginelli stepped in marvelously. He was side by side with our director, Bob Lewis. And for our entire crew, I'm Al Troutwig. Good night.
And they are still smarting from that 20-point loss to the Knicks just 9 days ago here at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks, of course, are also smarting. They were horrendous just the other night, Tuesday, in a 78-69 home defeat at the hands of the Charlotte Hornets. Pat Riley saw his Knicks shoot blanks in the first quarter. Charlotte fashioned a 25-16 lead. Alonzo Mourning had 18 points, 15 rebounds on the night, hitting that jumper over Oakley. And then off a miss by Patrick Ewing, his fellow Georgetown alum, Mourning boards and outlets to Larry Johnson, who goes in for 2 of his team-high 21 points. Knicks scored just 31 points in the first half. They did make a run here in the fourth quarter. Ewing jams home a John Starks miss. And then off a steal by Derek Harper, watch Ewing take the pass and go in for a tomahawk jam. Ewing had 35 points and 18 rebounds. He was terrific. But Hubert Davis with 14 points was the only other Knick in double figures. And when tiny Tyrone Bogues hit this key jumper down the stretch, the Hornets basically put it away.
I think their defense bothered us a little bit. You know, they weren't like New Jersey the other night, but I think offensively we just were not sharp and efficient. You know, we're missing shots and missing layups, and we just, you know, we only had 7 free throw attempts. We were not going to the basket real strong, and you know, that's right. But we still had a chance to win the game, you know, because we did play hard and defend in the second half.
And so now it's on to Denver and tonight's matchup at McNichols Arena with the Denver Nuggets. Our first live report from Denver is our Modell scouting report. Here are MSG's Marv Albert and John Andrews. Guys.
All right, Bob, and the crowd filing in here at McNichols. It's been a very busy stretch for the Nuggets. This is their 3rd game in 4 nights. Tonight they face a Knick team that hammered them in New York last week. That was a 20-point victory by the Knicks. And John, you'll recall there was a question going into that game as to whether Patrick Ewing would be able to play because of the sprained ankle that he suffered in the prior game against Seattle. And Ewing started the game, played very well. In fact, he severely outplayed his buddy, Dikembe Mutombo.
It was a big surprise, but Patrick didn't want to turn down the opportunity to play against Mutombo, one of his very close friends. They have a great competition between them, and Patrick really rose to the occasion on March 14th in that game. It was a very interesting game. Really turned out to be one-sided, though, much to everyone's surprise. Mutombo with a beautiful move early in the game. That was one of his 2 hoops of the entire game. And the Knicks did much better at the other end with their big man. Patrick staying away from pushing and shoving and got himself free many times with jump shooting opportunities. Even a long-range opportunity when it came up went Patrick's way. And the very fatigued Denver Nuggets and Mutombo suffered in that one. Patrick Ewing outscored Mutombo in a big way, out-rebounded him, had more shot blocks. Patrick was very involved in the offense while not shooting the ball well percentage-wise. He was the big difference in the game.
You mentioned the fact that the Nuggets were fatigued. They were dragging the final game of a 6-game road trip. So it was a poor performance, a down performance by a team that had been going very well. They shot only 38% from the field that night.
As it turned out, they won 4 of their 6 games on the road trip, and the numbers were good. Bernie Bickerstaff was not unhappy with his team despite the loss, but the numbers haunted them certainly as they reflected on them after, as the Knicks outscored them by 20, outshot them from the field. The rebounding went to the Knicks in a big way. The offensive rebounding and the hunger of the Knicks in that game, which was very important to New York, was quite evident. And of course the assist with the Knicks outscoring them by 20 was very much in favor of the Knicks. They'd be very happy to have numbers like that here in Denver.
John, I was wondering, are you planning to change the outfit before the game? Several fans came by and mentioned the fact that it all clashes. John, it doesn't work.
For your information,
when we
perfect.
come back on Knicks game night, John will be talking with the forgotten man of the Knicks, Greg Anthony. And we'll be back in just a moment. Right, I'll get back to Bob Page.
And later on, still MSG's Gus Johnson will chat with Denver Nuggets rookie guard Jalen Rose, one of Michigan's Fab 5 freshmen. So stay tuned. We're back right after we pause for these messages here on Knicks Game Night.
April 7th at the American Festival Cafe at Rockefeller Center. You're involved with a commitment you've made to the relationship between parents and children. Tell us a little bit about that, Greg.
Well, what we're going to do actually is try and bring about a situation where we've created a chapter in New York for twofold. One, we're going to try and help inner city parents with the relationship to their kids and help them be able to tutor their children and help bring about higher self-esteem and the parents, so that, you know, with today's technology, I know with my mom, she really couldn't help tutor me or help bring me along because she didn't have the know-how. So we're going to set up a center to do that. Also, the other chapter of it is to help benefit multiple sclerosis, because my wife's mother was stricken with multiple sclerosis, so that's something that's very dear to the both of us. So this fundraiser we're having on April 7th at the American Festival Cafe is to benefit both those regards.
Greg, you have a phone number, don't you? Or
sure do. Let me read from.
We'll do a little commercial. Why not?
Yeah, it's. I'd like, if anyone's interested in attending, to contact Jennifer Alpert at 516-624-2206. That's 516-624-2206.
Greg, it's our understanding that some of your teammates will be there, autographs and those kind of things will go on.
We're going to have a live DJ, open bar, hors d'oeuvres. Patrick and John and Charles Oakley and all the guys will be there, along with their family, their wives, I should say. And so it's a very worthwhile cause, and we're hoping to have a big turnout and come out and support two worthy causes.
Sounds great. Greg, let's talk about hoops now. The team on a road trip, a 3-game trip, getting away from some of those evil spirits that took place on display, I should say, against Charlotte the other night. What do you think the road trip can do for the team?
Well, I think one is going to have to help bring us closer together. I think you know, that loss that we had to Charlotte was very disorienting, and we're going to have to try and pick up our level of intensity on both sides of the basketball and start getting some big contributions. I think Patrick's really been carrying the load the past couple of games, and if we're to be successful, other guys are going to have to start stepping up a little bit. And this is really a good road trip for us. 3 teams that, you know, especially the first 2 that we feel very capable against. And if we can get those, it sets up a big showdown for Sunday with Seattle.
Greg, how are you keeping yourself ready? Because it's been a good year for you statistically and numbers-wise. You performed at a higher level than in the past, yet you seem to be out of the mix right now with Pat. How are you keeping yourself ready?
You just have to continue to be in it for the right reasons. I think from a positive energy standpoint, I feel great. You know, I'm supporting the guys, and the guys have shown me a tremendous amount of support. And overall, we've been very successful. So I just look at it as saying, hey, my time will come, and when it does come, I have to be prepared. So I continue to work hard, put in the due diligence that it takes to be successful in this league, and eventually opportunities will present themselves.
A man who has gone through many frustrating experiences, though, reflecting the right kind of reaction. Greg, we wish you the best, naturally basketball-wise, but also with your commitment on April 7th at the American Festival Cafe. Thanks for the visit.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
Okay, let's go back to Bob Page.
Very bright guy, member of the Young Republicans. You get the feeling that Greg Anthony is going to be very successful in life after basketball, no matter what he intends to do. Just ahead, we'll check in with a guard who does figure to see a lot of action in tonight's game, Denver's Jalen Rose. But first, again, we pause for these messages.
The Rangers head north to take on Joe Sakic and the Quebec Nordiques Saturday night, right here on MSG.
It's the only sport where the goal of the participant is to deliberately inflict a brain concussion on the other participant.
Statistically, boxing is way down on the list in participant sports. For 1,000 participants, boxing is maybe 5th or 6th as far as fatalities go.
Is your goal to knock the man out?
My goal is to win. If I could get a knockout, it's a lot quicker. There's a lot of wear and tear on my body.
Right here on the next Page One, Bob Page. Hope you can join us then.
April showers in a great month of springtime sports action on MSG Network. The New York Rangers wrap up their regular season and battle for playoff position. They take on the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Washington Capitals, and the rival New York Islanders. The New York Knicks bang the boards and look to set up for their own playoff run. They battle the Indiana Pacers, the Charlotte Hornets, plus X-Man and the Boston Celtics. Stay tuned after most Knicks and Rangers home games and hear from some of the biggest stars in sports and showbiz. Mike Francesa and Kathleen Murphy host live from the play-by-play. Take full swings at today's hard-hitting sports issues with the man who pulls no punches. Bob Page hosts Page One. Grab your shades and catch the coastline craze from beautiful locations all over the country. It's the AVP Pro Beach Volleyball Tour. Plus, you can always get all the scores and stories every night with MSG Sports Desk. Have a blast with all the great April sports action on MSG Network, the best in the game. It's the Knicks versus the Clippers, Saturday at 10 on MSG.
Welcome back to the show. You know, there are not many things that 6'8" guards in basketball can do the way Jalen Rose happens to do them. One of the things he couldn't quite do was join Chris Webber, Juwan Howard, and the Fab Five to lead Michigan to a national championship of college basketball. After a couple close calls, the trio left early for the NBA, Webber first and then Howard and Rose this season. MSG's Gus Johnson caught up with Jalen during Denver's visit to New York last week and files this report.
Like most rookie point guards, it's been a year filled with bumps and bruises for Denver's Jalen Rose. He went hardship after his junior year. He struggled early, but recently he's caught on, averaging close to 8 points and 4 assists a game.
It's been different. I mean, you're playing against the best players in the world every night. You got to deal with handling business transactions and handling money and, you know, handling the travel. I mean, in college we played 30, 35 games a season. Now I'm trying to prepare to play 82, and it's a big difference. But, you know, it's what I dreamed about doing, and I'm happy.
For Rose, it was only a matter of time before his talent emerged to the forefront, because while at Michigan, he was accustomed to stepping in and taking over right away. Jalen Rose was a member of one of the most watched and talked about teams to ever hit college basketball, the Fab Five.
Got to pivot out there. There's Webber. What a steal. Quick race. Webber with Williams behind him. Forget it. Leitner throws it away to Rose.
5 freshmen and then 5 sophomores advancing to the NCAA championship game in consecutive seasons. It's something that may never happen again. What was that whole experience like for you?
Well, it did a lot to prepare me for the NBA. I mean, I go into these big arenas, you know, we play on TV now. I'm not in awe, you know, or scared of the big crowds or playing on TV because I've done that in college. You know, it did a lot to prepare me, and, you know, I'm happy that experience took place.
Now as a rookie and even as a freshman in college, Rose has always shown a maturity on the floor, almost as if he's been there before. And in a way, he has. In 1967, the Detroit Pistons selected Jimmy Walker out of Providence College with the first pick in the NBA draft. He was a dynamic college player and had a very successful pro career. And while playing for the Pistons in Detroit, he fathered a son that he still never met, a son named Jalen Rose.
We've never talked, we've never met. You know, I have a couple of his basketball cards, but we never met and we never had contact. As a child, it makes you feel empty. You know, you can't go to the father and son dinners. You know, a lot of the kids got the chance to go out and, you know, play catch with their fathers. And, you know, you hear guys in the NBA talk about how their father, you know, used to take them to the gym and, you know, elbow them to make them tough or whatever. But, you know, for me, I never missed what I never had, I guess. My mother was strong. She was there for me, and she raised 4 kids by herself.
You think there's a possibility? I mean, are you going to go maybe search him out, try to talk to him, try to meet him?
Well, I won't search him out because, you know, from a personal standpoint, considering that he knew where we were, we never relocated. And I don't know how that made my mother feel because I don't know, you know, on what terms they left. You know, so I just leave it as it is. You know, if I see him, I'd love to meet him, but, you know, I won't go search him out.
Despite the absence of a father, Jalen persevered and escaped the dangers of Detroit's inner city by using the game of basketball, but more importantly, behind the strength and love of his mom. And he has the kind of success story that just draws people to him. And who knows, maybe even one day, one of those people will be his father. Reporting for Knicks Game Night, I'm Gus Johnson.
And we take a look at our NBA news segment when we close out this edition of Knicks Game Night here on Madison Square Garden Network. The Hornets have a 1-point-34-33 lead. Alan Bristow and company, of course, coming off that win over the Knicks in the Garden a couple nights ago, but trailed from the get-go in this one. First quarter, a 7-0 Magic run. Shaq to Nick Anderson for the 3, 14-6 Orlando. Later on in the first, off a Hersey Hawkins missed 3-point attempt, Horace Grant gets the rebound up to Ann Fernie Hardaway for the slam. The Magic led it by 10. Shaq then took a breather on the bench, but Horace Grant, rebounding in his stead, will get the putback of Dennis Scott's miss. That made it 28-22 Orlando. They led 28-24 after the opening quarter, but since then Charlotte has staged a comeback to forge ahead. The others in the NBA tonight, there are just 4 of them. Dallas playing in suburban Detroit against the Pistons. It is tied at 55. Grant Hill has 16 first-half points, as you see. Utah looking for their 50th win of the season, just underway at Houston against the defending NBA champion Rockets. The Los Angeles Clippers have lost 4 straight games, underway at Milwaukee against the Bucks, and Washington and Seattle rounds out this evening's schedule in the National Basketball Association. Nets are off. Beleaguered Butch Beard finally hit the ceiling, exploding at his underachieving Nets in a lengthy, obscenity-laced tirade following last night's home loss to the San Antonio Spurs. I thought that was curious because after this one and then after that even more embarrassing loss in Detroit the other night, Butch was accusing his team of lack of effort. He said at the Garden following the narrow loss to the Knicks this past Saturday night, quote, "Some people say we don't have any heart. That's not true," end quote. So which is it, Butch? You can't have it both ways. Since the Knicks have their own problems, we asked former Knicks guard Doc Rivers after last night's game what he thought was plaguing the Knicks of late.
Tell everybody if we make it to the finals, we're probably going to play New York. And a lot of people don't agree with that, but they play great defense. And there's nobody that can turn defensive pressure up like them. So if they get out of the first round, that's going to be key. They're going to be tough to be beaten.
Can a team be successful, though, with conflicts in the locker room? Say the coach isn't happy with one player and one player isn't happy with the coach?
Yeah, I think so. I think all you have to do is get on the highway on the Deegan and go to the Yankee Stadium. And they've won some world championships, and they hated each other. Obviously, basketball and baseball is different. But I think you don't have to like each other off the court, but you have to like each other and get along on the court. This is the one thing when I was in New York we did.
All right, now just a few minutes away from tip-off at Denver's McNichols Arena tonight. The Knicks playing host to the Nuggets. We'll take a look at the starting lineups for this evening's game. They are unofficial, of course. We expect the Knicks to line up this way. Anthony Bonner on the front line, going up with Patrick Ewing, who certainly has been playing among the best basketball of his entire NBA career the past few months or so, and Charles Oakley. Then in the backcourt, the Knicks will have Derek Harper and John Starks. And the Denver Nuggets, we think, will look like this. The former Georgetown star, Reggie Williams, along with another former Georgetown standout, Dikembe Mutombo on the front line. And then Rodney Rogers out of Wake Forest at the other forward position. Jalen Rose, we heard from him a few moments ago in the feature with Gus Johnson. And in the backcourt, the former Chris Jackson out of LSU, now Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. Don't forget, the Rangers are taking on the New York Islanders on our MSG1 service tonight. That's out on the island. We'll have our 15-minute edition of the MSG Sports Desk at 11 o'clock on MSG1. But coming up next here on MSG2, it's the New York Knicks at Denver against the Nuggets. Enjoy the game, everybody.
Point effort by Ewing. It wasn't enough, as the Knicks were stymied by the defensive presence of Mourning, as well as an all-around poor shooting effort. Points were not easy to come by, and the Knicks could only manage 69, tying a franchise low in points at the New Garden, as Alonzo and company walked off with the win. Tonight, Ewing faces off with another one of his Georgetown friends, Dikembe Mutombo. Ewing thoroughly outplayed his protege Mutombo in their first meeting at the Garden. But he wasn't the only one of Bernie Bickerstaff's worries. Charles Oakley put up the usual Oakley-like performance off the boards in an easy Knick win over the Nuggets. Tonight, the two teams get together for a mile-high rematch at McNichols Arena in Denver. We welcome you to McNichols Arena in Denver. A sellout crowd turning out for the Knicks and the Denver Nuggets, about to meet for the second time this season. Denver battling Portland and Sacramento for the 8th and final playoff spot in the Western Conference. The Nuggets at 31 up and 35 down, while the Knicks with a record of 42 and 22, and they are 6 games behind the